presents Major League Baseball for the Birds. The interleague scene shifts to Busch Stadium in downtown St. Louis, Missouri, as we welcome you to a weekend of interleague play. The Orioles come in to see the hot St. Louis Cardinals of manager Tony La Russa. Great to see all of you, everybody. Happy you're here. Michael Regai joined by Buck Martinez. For the Orioles, it's goodbye Houston. There was a little bit of a problem in being swept, and hello St. Louis, a very hot ball club. And Buck, when we talk about Brian Robertson adapting to that leadoff spot, he's been with his ball club 2 weeks, and Roberts has shown he's not only a table setter, but he's doing everything in every facet of the game to show that he belongs at this level.
Michael, I think right now what we're seeing in Brian Roberts is a young man that's awfully confident. He got off to a great start, coming back up to the big leagues, and right off the bat having a contribution offensively. Against Troy Percival with the bases loaded out in Anaheim, hits his first grand slam of season. It was the first of 2 grand slams he would hit. And anytime you can make a contribution like that when you first come back to a ball club, it certainly makes you more confident, and everybody kind of understands that you can help the ball club. And Brian, with those 2 grand slams, certainly has put up some pretty gaudy numbers for a leadoff hitter. Since his recall, 14 games, hitting .333, 2 home runs, those grand slams we just showed you, and RBI in every single game. That's getting it done from the top of the order.
Yeah, the grand slams have been something special, but I spoke to Brian Roberts a little while ago and asked him about doing all the things necessary out of the leadoff spot to make sure that he stays at this big league level.
Definitely. Those are things that I think I'm trying to continue to learn, and I feel a lot more comfortable in at this point. Leadoff spot is where I really enjoy being. It gives me an opportunity to give the guys behind me opportunities to drive in runs, and that's what they get paid to do, and that's what I am supposed to do. So that's the part of the game that I think I've come to enjoy more and more and really thrive on over the last year or 2, which hopefully will continue to help me remain at this level.
And doing it extremely well, no question about it. Now tonight, Brian Roberts and the Orioles face St. Louis Cardinals ball club. They just demolished the Toronto Blue Jays, winning 3 straight. We talk about RBI men in the middle of the lineup. Oh, Tony La Russa has them. Edgar Renteria, Albert Pujols, Scott Rowland. They know how to deliver people from scoring position, Buck.
Well, Michael, the Orioles are going to start to think everybody in the National League has lineups like this after seeing Houston. Then they're going to deal with Edgar Renteria and his 44 home run, 44 RBIs. And then Albert Pujols. If you haven't had a chance to see this young man, he may be the best right-handed hitter in the game today. 45 RBIs, hits for a high average. He's a .300 career hitter as he is enjoying life in his 3rd big league season. And then the veteran Scott Rowland, acquired last year from the Philadelphia Phillies, certainly hasn't disappointed anybody here in St. Louis. He plays the game the way it was meant to be played. He could have been right at home on those old St. Louis Cardinal gas house gang teams.
Oh, he would have looked good at that ball club, no question about it. And that without mentioning the likes of Jim Edmonds, Tino Martinez. So this lineup is fraught with danger, and it's going to be something that the Orioles pitching staff is going to have to be very aware of all weekend long. Something all the Major League Baseball is aware of is that Melvin Mora has a blistering bat. Mora, a 17-game hit streak. It all started back in mid-May with the base hit that got Mora going. And last night in Houston, Melvin extended to 17 in a row. He's got the 2nd leading average in the American League. Mora and the Birds against St. Louis coming up next. St. Louis, Missouri, a very passionate baseball town, much like the city of Baltimore, with baseball legacy running through and through. Glad to have you part of it on the Orioles television network. Michael Regai with Buck Martinez. We're a couple minutes away from getting rolling here at Busch Stadium, the site of so many thrills during the course of Major League Baseball history. And speaking of Major League Baseball history, the Orioles, the St. Louis Browns, back in the day when there was an all-St. Louis World Series, 1944, the St. Louis Browns, of course, became the Orioles against the St. Louis Cardinals.
50 years ago, they moved out of St. Louis and became the Baltimore Orioles. Quite a tradition, and over this weekend, it'll be celebrated here. Many members of that 53 team were just a minute ago on the field to acknowledge their great run, and St. Louis has been a baseball hotbed here in the Midwest for years and years, and it continues to be that.
And they show up, as we said, in a very passionate manner to follow the plight of Tony La Russa and his baseball team. And they are very hot, and the Orioles looking to try to maybe put a crimp and to the Redbirds wings this weekend. Take a look at the game notes. Yeah, the last three, the pitching got away from the O's a little bit down in Minute Maid Park, Buck.
Well, it sure did. They have still scored runs. You can see 27 runs over the last 3 games allowed, and that's just too much. They had too many pitches up in the zone, and Houston took care of them. They're going to have to pitch better in this series if they expect to win against St. Louis. They are still hitting well over the last 16 games, over 330 as a team. And look at the Cardinals, what they've done at home. 15-3 at home in interleague play going back to 2001. So the Orioles have their hands full, but they're confident they can score some runs against this St. Louis team, especially if they get into that Cardinal bullpen.
Yeah, that's exactly where the Birds would like to get. And, well, the Orioles, the last, 16 games, Rick Helling knows this. They've been averaging, the Birds have, almost 7 runs per game. Helling would like to get a lot more of that run support here tonight. Helling, though, Buck, has been so much better at home at Oriole Park than he's been on the road since putting on the Birds uniform to start this season.
And it really doesn't make much sense given this style of pitcher that he is. He pitches up in the zone, and you would think he'd have a tough time at Camden Yards. That's not been the case.
No, it hasn't. We'll chronicle a little bit more about Rick Helling, of course, when he heads to the mound. For now, let's take a look at how Mike Hargrove brings his Orioles into St. Louis, Missouri. 28 up, 30 down. Birds 4th place in the American League East. Take a look at the Southwest hitting lineup. Brian Roberts, the switch hitter who you just heard from, leads off. He plays second base. Luis Matos back in the lineup, carrying the 11-game hit streak at center field. Melvin Moore, the on-base percentage, the best in all of the American League. He's in left field. He'll hit third. 4-5-6. Jeff Conine's at first base. Conine will try to get going again after an 0 for Houston. Jay Gibbons, who homered in Houston, in right field. And Tony Batista, who also homered against the Astros at third base. David Cruz is really up that hitting mark at the plate. He hits 7th to play shortstop. Geronimo Gil will do the catching for Rick Helling, who does the pitching tonight. We talk about team defense. St. Louis, one of the best in Major League Baseball. Buck, how about taking a look at it?
Well, they're second in the National League. They've just committed 27 errors, and they have Pujols in left field. Great hands. Not a real burner in the outfield, but he gets good jumps on the ball. Orlando Palmeiras in right field tonight in place of J.D. Drew, who's still got a little bit of problem with that knee. Renteria and Cairo up the middle. Roland Martinez, and behind the plate's the backup catcher Chris Widger. But Jim Edmonds in center field and Scott Rowland at third base have 9 Gold Gloves between them. Rowland, for a big man, goes side to side as good as anybody in the game, and Jim Edmonds ranges from the gap in left center all the way across the diamond to right center. Brett Tomko, big right-hander, big start for Tomko in Tony La Russa's mind. You can see his record stands at 2-4. Earlier in the season, he pitched well enough to win about 3 more games, didn't get run support, and because of that, he doesn't have a very good-looking win-loss record. But La Russa, in his own words, said we need Brett Tomko to step up and give us another quality starter in our rotation.
Orioles have seen Brett Tomko before, just one time when they were a Seattle Mariner, of course, and started his big league career with Cincinnati. It's a magnificent night for Orioles interleague baseball. Settle back and enjoy it as Tomko will deal the fastball. That's a called strike to the .333 hitter with the 14 runs driven in, Brian Roberts. And really enjoyed a conversation with Brian, as you just heard a part of before the game tonight. Buck, I got to tell you, this young man gets it. He understands what not only being a big leaguer, but how to contribute on a day-to-day basis and staying a big leaguer is all about. As that's lifted to center, and it'll be an easy chance for the Gold Glover Jim Edmonds to take care of Roberts as we get rolling out of St. Louis.
Brian Roberts has been a real breath of fresh air around the Orioles ball club, not only because of the way he's played, but he's got a lot of energy, a little bit upbeat, and it's a lot of life that he brings to this ball club.
Yeah, speaking of a lot of life, when you look at guys who can be faces and identities of this Oriole organization for years to come, this very fine-looking center field talent is another, Luis Matos. Matos, who looks at the called strike on the inside corner. Luis with the 11-game hit streak intact, and Mike Hargrove last night, preferring against Roy Oswalt to go with a more veteran presence, gave Matos the evening off.
Well, it looks like a stroke of genius when you consider that Oswalt had 11 strikeouts in 7 innings. Matos didn't have to deal with that, and he still has a very high level of confidence, so Mike Hargrove made a very good move to give him last night off. Look at this.
Matos with a shot to deep left, and that ball on one hop up against the left field wall. Luis Matos with his 8th 2-base hit of the year, and Matos right away extends that hit streak to 12 in a row. Everything off his bat, just scorching line drives all over the yard.
Well, he's awfully confident at the plate right now. That was a breaking ball, and he stayed back, used his hands, great extension, and he just came up about 5 feet short from hitting this out of the ballpark. Hits at the base of the wall in left field, and he has himself a one-out double. You know, they're getting their hits, Roberts and Matos, but they're both hitting the ball very hard.
Yeah, that they are. As but when you look at road averages for the Orioles, the Birds at 283 away from Oriole Park, and that's the second best road hitting percentage for any offense around the American League. There's Melvin Mora as Tomko brings the breaking ball for a called strike. Well, Melvin's second in the American League. There you see it, 359, and has hit in 17 games in a row. 2 for 4 last night in the finale of the 3-game series against Houston.
Pretty interesting when you look at the American League leaders in batting average. A lot of new names at the top of that list.
There is.
Bill Miller of the Red Sox, and then Moore second. Hank Blaylock, the second-year player from Texas. Milton Bradley in Cleveland, sitting 329. Rocco Baldelli, and it's on and on and on. A lot of new faces up there. That's good for the league.
Yeah, it gets everybody talking about some of the younger hitters. In the case of Baldelli, being able to come in and really swing the bat well, adapting to big league pitching.
Well, to round out the top 10, it's Todd Walker of the Red Sox, Edgar Martinez, Michael Young of the Texas Rangers, Frank Catalanotto of the Blue Jays, and Manny Ramirez. He's an old standard. He's up in that top 10 every year.
Mora on that 1-2 pitch, fly ball up the line and right, long way to go. Orlando Palmeiro got his glove on it, but could not hang on. Boy, the stands jut right toward that right field foul line, Buck, and when you are coming full tilt the way that Palmeiro was, there's no way that you can't notice that it's there and got to take a peek.
Yeah, he looks down to see how much room he has to make sure he's not going to run into that wall, but you're right, that jagged part of that fence runs right into the foul line, and I think that got into Palmeiro's mind, distracted him a bit. He actually got a glove on that ball, but it was a tough play and a long run for him.
Yeah, so Palmeiro, J.D. Drew, and Buck and I arrived at the ballpark about 3:30 this afternoon. There are question marks by both of them. Who was going to get the starting call in right field, and it turns out to be Palmeiro. Now the Birds trying to get on the board against Brett Tomko. Mora checking. He got jammed as now that count will run even at 2-2 on Melvin.
Now, Tomko throws 2 fastballs, a 4-seamer and a 2-seam sinking fastball, a curveball that can be really good for him, slider and a changeup. First inning has been a concern for Tomko, trying to get his timing and rhythm down.
Ground ball to third. You see the backhand pick from Scott Rowland to throw out Melvin Mora. Buck told you about the gold gloves of Scott Rowland at third base, and all of you Oriole fans are familiar with Rowland from the last few years of interleague play when he wore the uniform of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Well, he's got great hands, very sure-handed, and he's got a strong arm, and the lateral movement for a big guy is really exceptional. He is an outstanding third baseman. And I don't know that he has any peers as far as making that play on that bunt in front of him. Charges hard, grabs it barehanded, and throws across his body as well as anybody in the game today.
Yeah, big guy. The key too, about 6'4", 230 pounds. As Jeff Conine takes a look at the breaking ball. Now Jeff Conine, you see him at 274, and as hot as the Conine bat was, and it was very hot, you get a couple of line drives and a couple of balls hit well right at defensive players like Conine did in the first game of the series in Houston. And Jeff takes an 0 for 13 against the Astros. So he's looking to get percolated again here in St. Louis this weekend.
Yeah, he is very happy to see the red hat of that Cardinal pitcher out there instead of that Astros star. He hit those balls sharp in the first game on Tuesday night and ended up with nothing to show for it. And sure enough, he got into a 3-game skid.
Top goes 1-1. Ground ball wide to third. Rolling to his left. Conine's gone. On the bounce of the Rowland, so are the Birds. The leadoff double from Luis Matos wasted. St. Louis to swing the bats. We're just getting started in Busch Stadium. Birds do not get on the board against Brett Tomko as we take a look at how Tony La Russa makes out His lineup card for the opener of this 3-game interleague series, the Southwest Cardinals hitting lineup. Miguel Cairo in for the injured Fernando Vina leads off at second base. Orlando Palmeiro hits second. He's in right field. Albert Pujols, folks, he could flat out mash the baseball as he's in left field hitting third. Cleanup hitter is center fielder Jim Edmonds. Scott Rowland on an RBI tear of late. He's at third base. Edgar Renteria, one of the best hitting shortstops in the game, hits sixth. 7, 8, 9, Tino Martinez at first base, the former New York Yankee, of course. Chris Widger will do the catching, and on the mound, it said right-hander Brett Tomko. And Buck, how about taking us around the third best defensive squad in the American League, the Birds?
Well, and they're doing it moving guys around, and the guy that they move around most frequently is Melvin Moore, and tonight he's back in left field. Luis Matos has played well in center field since his recall from the minor leagues. Jay Gibbons is in right. Cruz and Roberts up the middle. They make a pretty effective double play tandem. Tony Batista and Jeff Conine at the corners, and Geronimo Hill will flash the signs for his battery mate, Rick Helling. Helling making his 12th start of the season. The opponent's batting average a little higher than he would like.
And facing Miguel Cairo as Helling is familiar, coming right over the top with that first pitch fastball. Cairo, you see, at 265 on the year. And again, he's in because of Fernando Vina, the very fine second baseman on the disabled list, as the count evens at 1-1. And Cairo was going through a real skid. He was in an 0 for 18, but in that Toronto series, he got 5 base hits at the top of Tony La Russa's lineup as the Redbirds were sweeping the Jays.
Michael, Tony La Russa was concerned about that skid Cairo was in because he doesn't have many options after Cairo. And he was really pleased that Miguel was able to get a few hits against the Blue Jays because now he could keep him in that lineup and feel confident that Cairo's going to turn things around with the bat.
Helling on the 2-1 pitch. Fly ball left center field. Room in the gap for Melvin Mora. And Cairo is gone as Helling gets him on the fly ball to left. And this Busch Stadium, I'll tell you what, if you don't like the color red, this is not the place for you. As we said, it's filled with so many just wonderful moments of baseball thrills, but it's the Redbird Nation, Buck, and they come out here in mass, and they wear their colors for their Cardinals.
There are Cardinal stores all over the St. Louis area just to sell the memorabilia.
Everybody wears their Cardinal shirt, hat. Grandma, Grandpa, they've all got them.
What's that guy doing with a blue shirt on? I'm surprised they let him in. As Rick Helling deals the called strike to Orlando Palmeiro. Palmeiro, the Orioles are very familiar with, of course, with his time with the now Anaheim Angels organization. Pretty good heat from Rick Helling there as he came up and in on Palmeiro.
Oh, Michael, we talked about Helling's success at Camden Yards compared to his numbers on the road, and that's the reason that it's a little surprising because he does pitch up so much, and he is a fly ball pitcher, always has been, but he's been able to pitch his best ball games for Baltimore this year at home. One thing about Rick, he's never going to give in. He's going to continue to battle, continue to work, try to figure something out to eventually lead to success. And it's generally been an inning or two during the course of a start that really causes him problems. He'll breeze along and shut down an opponent inning after inning, then all of a sudden he'll have a three-run inning, and just like that he'll find himself behind.
Win tonight for Helling will even his mark at 4-4 on the year. He'd love to lower that ERA. It sits a little bit below 6. 2-2 pitch. This is skied to right center. Luis Matos put it away. So a couple of fly ball outs for Rick Helling here to open things up. And you hear the anticipation and the applause building. Buck called him maybe the finest right-handed hitter in the game of baseball, and Albert Pujols has burst on the major league scene. And Buck, I go back to the rookie year of 2001, and I think what we tend to forget is the year before that, the 2000 season, as he drills a base hit up the middle, was his first as a professional. Pujols taking that big turn and now put the brakes on as Matos got to the baseball. So Pujols' first pitch swinging, The best hitter in Major League Baseball, 379, so he'll go over 380 with his first inning base knock.
Boy, I tell you what, there's so many characteristics that you like at the plate. He is very, very confident when he steps into the box. He gets a strike, he swings at it, doesn't wait for anything. He is well prepared. He will look at video of the pitcher he's facing. He'll look at scouting reports, and he'll do his diligent work before the game. And when he steps in the box, he is all about hitting.
Well, the Orioles are hopeful to cool him off and keep him down this weekend. And he's so hot that it's like you love to give him 2 out base hits with nobody aboard, because there's no run damage being done. And we were speaking of in the open, Pujols, Roland, Renteria. Hitter at the plate, Jim Edmonds having a strong year with the RBI. You see Albert Pujols with his 75 base hits, but the Orioles are very familiar with Jim Edmonds, first with the California Angels, of course, who became the Anaheim Angels. And Buck Edmonds having a real solid year as he had a big series against Toronto, a couple of home runs, and raised that average up near 300. Helling should get him here. This is skied to shallow left. That's Melvin Mora. Inning over. 3 fly ball outs for Rick Helling. Let's go to the second in this scoreless duel in St. Louis. No score after 1 at Busch Stadium. All right, those fans, pay close attention, please. Exclusively Orioles. We're talking about one of the finest premium ticket packages going on right now in Major League Baseball. What it'll do, it'll give you field box seats in the first few rows between the bases around home plate. The dugouts at Oriole Park have never been opportunized for the general public before. 10-game plans with premium parking and other exclusive amenities. Call that number that you see on your screen for your exclusively Orioles premium package. And an opportunity to go to the All-Star game this year and also a postseason play. So get in on this opportunity to see Orioles baseball up close and personal.
And you know, before too long, Michael, it's going to be sunny. And that'll be a real package.
You know, we've been told, as Jay Gibbons looks at the pitch and misses from Brett Tomko, that last couple of days in Charm City have been charming. A lot of sunshine around Baltimore. Good to hear. And hope it stays when the ball club gets back home next week to start that series against those Chicago Cubs. And, of course, there has been the ruling that has been set forth with regard to Sammy Sosa, that Buck and I will tell you about. Pretty good pass from Jay Gibbons as he tried to get on top of that Brett Tomko fastball. Gibbons on the year at 268. Jay and Tony Batista share the club leadership in home runs with 9 apiece.
You know, something that I've been remiss is not talking about the fact that Jay Gibbons is another young Oriole player that we've really kind of overlooked because he's been here for a while and he's had success. But when you put him in there with Brian Roberts and Louis Matos and Larry Bigby, all of a sudden you've got some pretty good potential everyday impact type of players. And Jay Gibbons, I think, is getting better and better every day as a hitter. We saw it down in Houston when he ripped that home run on Tuesday night and then hit the big bases loaded double to the opposite field on Wednesday night.
And now waiting on a 2-2 from Tomko. This is laced to right. Here comes Palmeiro coming on, and he's got it. The ball stayed up and allowed Palmeiro to put it away.
I think Gibbons may have gotten jammed a little bit. Palmeiro reacted as if the ball was hit a little bit harder. His first step was back toward the fence, and then he had to come in quickly to make the catch.
So that'll get Tony Batista to the plate. Batista at 264 on the year. This Orioles offense starting tonight, 275. That's 5th in the American League team hitting wise. And when you raise your average 24 points over about a team average, that is about a 2.5-week period, that is everybody chiming in and swinging the bats, because Buck, as you can attest to, that's a very, very strong increase. 24 points as a team in that short amount of time.
Well, they had that stretch of double-digit hits, and that'll boost your team average in a hurry.
On the ground for Edgar Renteria to handle the hop. Throw out Batista. So after the 1-out 2-base hit from Luis Matos, Brett Tomko has retired now 4 O's in a row.
Michael, as you mentioned, we were here early this afternoon, and both clubhouses were very busy putting together scouting reports, having meetings. Mike Hargrove met with his coaching staff initially to go over the scouting report. Tony La Russa did the same, and then they all have their respective meetings. One for pitchers to talk about the opposing hitters, and one for the hitters to talk about the pitching staffs they're going to face. Pretty interesting first day in when you deal with interleague play.
Yeah, and we had that discussion in Houston with regard to how things change at all. The one thing Buck and I saw for 3 nights in Houston is that the American League, you are at a decided disadvantage when you come into the National League ballpark, and I think it puts everything under a microscope, and Buck really brings into play exactly what an American League ball club is facing when they go by the National League rules.
Yeah, you have so many more things to deal with, and we've talked about the fact, first of all, you don't get to use your DH, and every club in the American League is built around an offense that features the DH. So in this series, David Segui is relegated to bench duty, but then you have the pitching moves and the pitching changes, and you have to think about where you are in your lineup, where the score is, and it's not unlike what you would do on a regular basis, but when you're up against a team in a National League ballpark, you have to think ahead as far as how you're going to use your pitchers and when you make those respective changes.
1-2 now on Davy Cruz. The Oriole fans have been able to see through now 2+ months of baseball, and also very good to see Sam Perlazo back. Spoke to Sammy in the clubhouse today. His mother, unfortunately, not doing as well as they would like, as that's bounced foul. But in Cumberland, Maryland, Sam deciding it's time to get back with the ball club, and that he is for this weekend of interleague play here in St. Louis.
But you see, there's the aspect of Perlazo's knowledge and experience right to the side of his manager, and they'll talk throughout the course of the game about strategy, moves, and where they are in a ball game.
That shot knocked down by Tomko. Oh, that was headed for center field, and Tomko knocked it down and throws out Cruz. Zeros after 1.5. For 1.5 as this weekend interleague series starts here in St. Louis. Coming up in the middle of the 4th inning tonight, Buck and I will be tested. You will be too. Tonight's Aflac trivia question. Don't miss it. We'll see what how the guys and gals in the truck have come up with to try to stump Buck and yours truly here to start the weekend in St. Louis, as Rick Helling and the Birds trying to end the 3-game losing slide. Orioles had won 3 in a row over Texas before, as we said, hello Houston, goodbye Houston, and some problems in between that the Orioles are trying to resurrect here tonight, as Helling stays down in the zone to this powerful right-handed hitting third baseman, one of the best in the game at the hot corner, the former Philadelphia Philly, Scott Rowland. Edgar Renteria and Tino Martinez to follow against Rick Helling. And Buck, we were very interested observers today around the cage as you take a look at some of our Southwest Airline numbers. The Yankees with a win today in Wrigley Field, of course setting up the Roger Clemens outing against Kerry Wood tomorrow, as Helling now will get ahead of Rowland. But this group around the cage, Pujols, Rowland, Renteria, that was like when you watch Texas and A-Rod, Palmeiro, and Gonzalez hit together.
Yeah, they're a pretty impressive trio of hitters. They have great work ethic. They'll go out and really put a lot of time, a lot of good swings into the batting cage, trying to carry over that momentum into the ball game. Look at Houston. Boy, they are not slowed down. They're up 6-0 over Tampa Bay, continuing to swing the bats well.
And we'll keep you updated on all the interleague numbers tonight as Rowland fights off that Helling pitch on his hands. Interesting interleague baseball this week. There's Toronto and St. Louis caught a lot of attention in here, and last night it was Woody Williams that went 7 1/3, the Cards starter that had no hit bid on his mind until Orlando Hudson broke it up, as Rick Helling just froze Scott Rowland to set him down looking, and Helling went to the breaking ball to pick up his first K of the night.
Pretty good timing to break out the old hook, and look at Rowland. He is really caught off guard. This catches the heart of the plate. Rowland couldn't even offer at it, but he had not seen that pitch from Helling, and it wasn't one of Helling's better ones. It was a little too high, but still you can see that Rowland was looking for another pitch, and he has to pack the lumber back to the bench.
Well, here's the third leading hitter in the National League, Edgar Renteria. Buck, we talk about, and this young man's 6'1", 210 pounds. Now, this isn't one of the shortstops out of the 60s and 70s that was 5'8", 150. So big, strong, certainly can hit the baseball to the gaps with power. But why don't we hear about him with the likes of Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter, Miguel Tejada, and Nomar Garciaparra?
Yeah, it's unfortunate because he is in that category to be sure. Hitting almost 340, 6 home runs, 44 RBIs. Played in the World Series in '97 with the Marlins. And he's been a good player for a long time. And he can really range far and wide. He's from Colombia, from Barranquilla, Colombia, and he was a phenomenal soccer player, so he's got tremendous athletic skills. In the last 4 games, he's been on fire.
With the 9 runs driven in, as Helling will miss with the slider. 2-2 now on Edgar Renteria. Yeah, that '97 series, I mean, I'll tell you what, this young man played a prominent role.
Well,
Teammate of Jeff Conine.
he hit 290 in that series. Drove in 3 runs.
2-2 from Helling. Slowly wide at third. Batista with that quick transfer to gun down Edgar Renteria. Tony got on the move quickly to get to the baseball in the hole. All right, the Chicago Cubs are coming into Oriole Park at Camden Yards on June 10th, 11th, and 12th. Tickets still available to see Dusty Baker's ball club. Sammy Sosa, he may be there, and the Cubs series will be highlighted by the Ford Centennial celebration on Thursday the 12th, when the first 12,000 men 18 and over receive a Ford Centennial collectible ball. For your tickets to see the Cubbies in downtown Baltimore, call that number you see on your screen or go online at theorioles.com.
I believe that the Cubs on Tuesday will start Mark Pryor, a hard-throwing young right-hander,
Right.
and he is a pretty interesting young man to get an eye of, and he can really throw it as well.
The former New York Yankee, Tino Martinez, who seemed to save some of his biggest bombs for the Orioles from 1996 through 2001 while he wore the pinstripes of the Yankees. Homered a couple of times against Rick Helling, as Helling will fall behind 3-0. But that best year, Buck, you think back to 1997, of course, when that was a year, though, that the Yanks got eliminated by the Cleveland Indians, with Tino with 44 home runs and 141 runs driven in. And he takes the free pass here on 4 pitches as Rick Helling walks his first of the night, the 2-out walk to Tino Martinez.
Tino Martinez had 2 of the toughest assignments in baseball, replacing Don Mattingly in New York and Mark McGwire in St. Louis. I don't know that many other people could have handled it, but Tino is so level-headed and such a great person. He comes out here and he knows that he's not going to be Mark McGwire, and he certainly didn't expect to be Don Mattingly. But by the end of his run in New York, they were really sorry to see him go.
Here's Chris Widger now, and Widger, of course, doing part of the catching here with Mike Matheny, Joe Girardi, also on this ball club. And Widger backed up in, speaking of the Bronx, last year with the Yankees. 1 year with the Yanks behind Jorge Posada.
Well, Widger was with the Yankees this spring, and John Flaherty won that backup role, and Widger was pretty disappointed that he didn't get a better look during the spring. He eventually signed a minor league deal with St. Louis, and here he is now for Tony La Russa. And his days might be numbered here as Joe Girardi continues to heal and get better. And Girardi has been out all year long with a bone fragment in his back that has pressed up against his spine, but evidently it's to the point now where he can play again.
2-1 to Widger. Fly ball right field. Jay Gibbons has got room. We're going to go to inning number 3 as Helling gets Widger. Still scoreless. Orioles and the Cardinals at Busch. Zeros in the run department after 2 innings here at Busch Stadium. All right, Oriole fans, you can use your MasterCard card and see the Orioles for less. What you do is go to the Orioles website, which is www.theorioles.com, or call that number you see on the bottom of your screen, or visit the Orioles box office to purchase the MasterCard Grand Slam ticket pack. Very pleased you are with us. Be right here on the Orioles Television Network all weekend long now. Tomorrow afternoon, it starts at 4 o'clock back in the East. then on Sunday on Fox 45 tomorrow, and then on Sunday afternoon, of course, the series will wind up. The Orioles complete their first week, and you can see all of this weekend on the Orioles television network. Now here's Geronimo Gil doing the catching tonight and leading things off against Brett Tomko in inning number 3. Gil, 256 on the year with those 3 home runs. Now, Geronimo doing the bulk of the catching work now for manager Mike Hargrove, getting the bulk of the time.
I think both of the catchers really don't have much of a beef. They both had an opportunity to take over and run with that job, and Hargrove has gone back and forth with the hot hand from time to time. But they've split it up pretty equally throughout the course of the year.
Geronimo still working diligently on a daily basis with Rick Dempsey, trying to take care of some of those things mechanically, Buck, and we'll let you speak about that because you played that position in the major leagues.
Well, you can never really sit back and think that you have everything accomplished. It's a constant challenge to improve your skills behind the plate, work on your throwing, work on your footwork, make sure you get in enough blocking to stay sharp.
This is tapped on the right side. Martinez will find Tomko at the bag to take care of Geronimo Gil. Brett Tomko settling into a bit of a groove here now, has retired 6 Orioles in a row, getting Gil to lead off here in the 3rd.
Well, now he's going to deal with the pitcher.
Still looks funny for this 1 week, going all the way back now to when interleague play began, and you see the Oriole pitchers stride to the plate, and of course they started to swing the bats at Oriole Park on the last homestand about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The Oriole pitchers would come out and take hitting practice as Tomko drops the breaking ball on Rick Helling to get ahead at 0-2. But it goes without saying, the pitchers that do swing the bats effectively, they want to help themselves, as Helling had a pretty good rip, but Tomko fanned him on the fastball for his first K of the night. Brian Roberts, more of my conversation with him. I asked him about being as ready right now to assume this role at the major league level than he has previously in his other appearances.
Well, that's what you like to think. You know, I think that the more experience you get, obviously, the more prepared you are, I think. But also, I feel like I've made a conscious effort to really try to improve on every aspect of the game and really learn my abilities and learn how to use them, you know, to help the team in the best possible way. And so I feel like in that area, I'm probably most ready than I've been in the past couple years.
What I like about that, Buck, is to help my team in the best way possible, to take best advantage of the abilities he has, as he was speaking of, and to continue to work on them to grow daily as a big leaguer.
I think he understands now that he's going to have to do all the little things if he intends to stay on this ball club.
Sharply on the ground to Miguel Cairo, who will throw out Brian Roberts, and Brett Tomko right now has only allowed 1 base hit through the first 3 in this scoreless duel. Now the O's trying to end the 3-game losing slide and get their first interleague victory of the year and scoreless here in St. Louis. All right, Oriole fans, our good friends at Heineken want us to remind you, whether you're enjoying Orioles baseball at home or enjoying the scene around downtown Baltimore or up and down the Atlantic seaboard, please make sure that you drink responsibly this weekend. Rick Helling back to the mound to face his opposite number, Brett Tomko, who will lead things off here in inning number 3. Helling has only given up the 1 base hit, the 2-out single to Albert Pujols. Brett Tomko, though, at 286, has driven in 4 runs, so he helps himself with the stick, Buck.
Pretty good pitching staff they have. Their starters really swing the bats. Woody Williams had 4 RBIs and a triple in last night's game. Matt Morris loves to swing the bat. He has a home run this year. There's Woody, a veteran pitcher that has really turned around his career since he's come to St. Louis.
Pat Henkin's buddy. Pat and Woody Williams were in this outfield today. About Buck and I got here a little bit before 3:30, and Pat Henkin and Woody Williams. I think Woody had his son out there, and they were, I guess, talking about that strong performance that Woody Williams laid on their former club, the Blue Jays, as Rick Helling will go down and away to punch out Brett Tomko here. Helling's second K of the night.
This is one aspect of the National League where pitchers have a pretty good advantage because they always have that pitcher hitting against them. And it's as if you have kind of a rest stop down at the bottom of the order. You get a free out if you really make quality pitches. And you can give all your due that Woody Williams can swing the bat, but if you make good pitches, you're going to get the pitchers out.
So back to the top now for Miguel Cairo. Cairo flied out his first turn as Helling's in the strike zone. Would you instruct your pitchers during interleague play to look, let's not fool around when the pitchers at the plate. Let's just go after them and get what we hope is that automatic out?
Absolutely. Just take that out and move on. Don't try to get cute. And it's such a big part of the game. And I talk about it a lot, how you manage your innings. And look where you are. You know, you're not going to challenge Pujols and Edmonds and Rowland. You're going to try to make them hit your pitch. But you get down in bottom orders, 7, 8, 9, and you want to be ahead. You want to be the aggressor in those spots in the lineup. Then you don't have to deal with the top of the order with guys on base.
Would that be one of the things that infuriated you the most, though? And again, you being in the American League, you didn't have to do it that much. But in interleague play, again, when you start fooling around with the opposition pitcher, you fall behind him, you maybe walk him, maybe he gets a base hit as Cairo lifts this to shallow right. Ryan Roberts is going to take care of it about 20-25 yards on the outfield grass, but managers seem to have a very short fuse when it comes to that particular aspect of the game.
Sparky Anderson always said, look at the scoreboard. It tells you everything you need to know about strategy. It tells you where you are in the game, where you are in the lineup, and how many outs you have, and that dictates how you pitch. You got a 4-run lead, throw strike one. Don't put those guys on. Don't mess around. You run your pitch count up, you walk guys, and all of a sudden the offense gets back into it. But so many of the veterans, you can look, and I think one of the last guys to do it was Jack Morris, where he didn't care about his ERA. He wanted to win the game. That was his goal. And he would pitch to the scoreboard. If he had a 4-run cushion, you were going to get some pitches to hit. And he was going to challenge you to put it in play and get base hits. He wasn't going to walk anybody. And because of that, his ERA was always higher than the leaders. But he was always around 18 to 20 games in the win column.
Sure. And the right way to pitch. No doubt about it. Helling's 1-1 now to Orlando Palmeiro, missing in with a slider. So Rick Helling, no rhyme nor reason for it, but so much better away from Oriole Park, at Oriole Park, than he has been on the road this year. And maybe trying to flip the script a little bit on that here tonight. Look out, Rick, as that's ripped right back through the box. Orlando Palmeiro with a 2-out base hit up the middle. That's the second Cardinals base hit of the night.
Both of them been right up the middle, and this ball club, they use the whole field. They don't get full catches. And here, Palmeiro, decent pitch, outside part of the plate, right back over the mound. And Helling had a thought about kicking at it, but had enough sense to bring his foot back in. You know, pitchers react. They hate to see those base hits roll right up the middle. Who was it? Kurt Schilling broke his finger the other day slapping at one of those comebackers.
Yeah, he did, and now on the shelf. So here's the leading hitter in Major League Baseball, Albert Pujols. Had a base hit his first turn as Helling just buckled his knees with a breaking ball. Buck, how'd you like to have this young man's future, huh? And maybe his bank account someday?
Well, and you know what? He is a professional already, and this is just his third Major League season, but he prepares himself very well, takes a lot of pride in the way he works at things.
He's 23 years of age from the Dominican Republic as the count evens at 1-1. Rookie of the Year unanimously as you look at the blistering May he had. National League Player of the Month, drives in 26 runs and collects 10 home runs in the month of May, and being named the National League Player of the Month.
Now, his family moved from the Dominican Republic when he was 16, and he settled in Independence, Missouri, and went to Fort Osage High School. So he got a taste of playing baseball here in the Midwest early on, and he certainly got the attention of a lot of scouts And he had an idea he was going to be a very good professional baseball player, so they made a move early in his life.
2-1 now on Albert Pujols. I was briefly mentioning the unanimous selection as Rookie of the Year back in the 2001 season. Didn't get a unanimous selection, 9th all-time in the history of the National League. But man, jumps on the scene and hits 37 home runs and drives in 130 runs while hitting .329.
What's really remarkable about his first 2 seasons, he had exactly the same number of at-bats, 590 at-bats. He plays every single inning of every game. He scored almost the same amount of runs, hit just about the same home runs, 37 his first year, 34 last year, and drove in 130 his first year and 127 his second year. Seems like that's the standard he's going to live by.
It does. That's rather consistent. And for the first time tonight, the Cardinals have a mild threat going on as Rick Helling missed on that 3-1 pitch. So after 2 out here in this 3rd inning, the base hit for Palmeiro, the walk to Pujols, and Rick Helling now has to go get Jim Edmonds, the cleanup hitter. Rick Helling with 49 pitches thrown here through the first 2 2/3 tonight. Jim Edmonds, Buck, do you think that Edmonds, the change of scene for him from Anaheim to the National League has been something maybe that has revitalized Edmonds in terms of how this career of his has progressed?
Well, so many people get an opportunity to come here in St. Louis, and you find that a lot of them make their home here. The fans really take them in. They become part of the Cardinal family, and they just really like the atmosphere. And, for so long, people had this perception about Anaheim being a great place to play, and Edmonds really found a home here in St. Louis.
Rick Helling just popped up Jim Edmonds. Jeff Conine astride in foul territory to put it away. No score after 3 here in Busch Stadium. Out of Busch Stadium on the Orioles television network. Let's take a peek at what has transpired through 3. Back in the 1st inning, Luis Matos continues his hot hitting.
Boy, he stays red hot. He got the day off last night, didn't start in Houston, and starts his night tonight with his 8th double of the season. Rick Helling tonight, 3 innings, scattered 2 hits, both singles up the middle. He's walked a couple and been able to pitch around them. Same for Brett Tomko. He's been outstanding. The only hit he's allowed was that Matos double in the 1st inning.
And that our GM game summary. So let's head to inning number 4 with Luis Matos, the Orioles' 10th round selection back in 1996. Showing bunt and taking the call strike. Here's the difference, though, partner. Back then, this young man weighed 150 pounds.
Yeah. And that's the art of scouting. You see a frame and you project how he's going to fill out and mature as he grows into manhood, and you think, okay, he's going to be a strong guy that's going to have a lot of pop. And I think that's the real challenge. You can say all you want to about stats and look up on-base percentage and everything else, but the true scouts, the successful scouts, are the guys that can project how he's going to fill out and whether or not he's going to have the wherewithal and the commitment to become an everyday Major League player.
Buck, I really think that he's going to be a combination of, in time now, again, we're talking about a 23-year-old speed, he's got that, and power.
Yeah, I think he has the type of body that will allow him to develop into an impact type of player.
Fly ball fairly deep right center field. Jim Edmonds will track that and put it away as Matos leads off a 4th by flying out against Brett Tomko. Again, I think the key when you talk about youngsters like Brian Roberts and Luis Matos, Larry Bigby, still, you're right, Jay Gibbons, Jerry Hairston, these guys, they're going to form the core of this organization as it goes forward and attempts to start challenging again for postseason play in the American League East.
Well, let me tell you one thing in common that all of those young players have, in my mind, and you tell me if I'm right: character. They all step out here every day proud to represent the Orioles and proud to put their work in and make sure they're prepared to play. There's no stat for character, and that's when you really earn your money as a scout and evaluator and a farm director or a manager in the minor leagues. When you send in your report, good work ethic, team player, understands how to win, and that's where the Orioles have to get back to.
No, you're absolutely right about that. All those guys we mentioned, they love to talk baseball. They're always here early. They're willing to work on their game, subjugate the ego. You put the whole thing together, and that's, you build a core, and that's why I think under the direction of Jim Beattie, Mike Flanagan, as Melvin Mora rips that fair into the left field corner. Mora's going to have to put the brakes on as Albert Pujols got on the baseball. It caromed toward Pujols where the stands jet out toward that line, but Melvin Mora give him an 18-game hit streak now as Mora just continues to sizzle at the plate.
He turns on that inside fastball and keeps it fair just inside the left field line. You see Ron Copa, the umpire, waving it fair, and Albert Pujols did a good job to come in and charge that ball quickly to hold Mora to a single. Thought Mora had a chance to get a double on that ball, but Pujols got to it very quickly.
Yeah, and that's the Orioles' first base hit since the two-base hit from Luis Matos in the opening inning, as Tomko had retired 9 in a row. Now with some conversation with Chris Widger. When do hit streaks start to get serious for you? More at 18?
For me, about 3.
Okay.
I was serious when I got 3, man.
You got me, partner. Yeah, okay. I understand where you're going with that.
I tell you what, it's serious when you get to 18 games, that's for sure. Think about hitting in every game for over 2 weeks. That's pretty impressive.
About 3. I love it. That gives us a pretty good gauge on what Martinez was thinking about during his playing days. As Topko will miss inside to Jeff Conine, as Jeff trying to get going as he bounced out his first turn at the play. But is that the one record, though, in Major League Baseball that you think that
Oh, absolutely.
Joe D's 56-game hit streak?
It was incredible. He had more home runs during the streak than he had strikeouts. And, you know, I don't know that, you know, anybody will ever be able to come close to that. See so many different pitchers now. You're seeing so many different teams. Interleague play, I mean, he would never have to deal with interleague play. He didn't know those guys, but all the guys he was facing the same pitchers he had seen year in and year out. And I'm not taking anything away from him. It's a tremendous accomplishment. Maybe the most impressive in all of the baseball records.
The 3-1 to Jeff Conine in the air to left center field, and that's Jim Edmonds there to put it away as Melvin Mora will draw the throw. Edmonds showed off that impressive arm of his from fairly deep left center field. All right, let's take a look now at our Aflac trivia question tonight here in St. Louis in 1973. The American League created the designated hitter. Do you remember who was the Orioles' first DH back in 1973? You think you have that one, Buck?
No.
No?
I know Ron Blomberg was the first DH
right.
for the Yankees and the 73 Orioles team.
Let's think about that for a minute, shall we? And we'll let everybody at home do the same. And we've got some candidates back in that era of O's baseball. Is
Lee May?
That's my guy.
Yeah, that's probably
Mo May.
one of the guys.
Mo May, but you know what? I got a feeling we may not be on the right track.
Well, it wouldn't
But
be
we'll
the
see.
first time.
No. Usually we're falling off the tracks and don't know how to get back on. Jay Gibbons quickly in an 0-2 hole as Tomko got Gibbons the first turn, and that line drive to right to Orlando Palmeiro. What has been very impressive about Jay Gibbons this year is the way he's hit left-handed pitching and has been willing to go the other way. And it started on opening day. Pitches Buck toward that outside corner. You're not going to see Gibbons rolling over too much and bouncing to second base. I mean, he is honed in on remember the series at Kansas City that we did when Gibbons had during that doubleheader had 4 base hits from the left field corner to the gap in left center.
Yeah, he is really becoming very aware that if you're going to hit for a high average and be a run producer on a consistent basis, you have to hit the ball the other way. I mean, to be a pull hitter, your timing has to be so perfect that you really put more pressure on yourself than you need to.
1-2 pitch. Make it 2-2. And plus, I mean, you're going to pull the ball all the time. You're not going to hit for a high average, and you're eliminating possibility of becoming that much tougher a hitter to defense.
Well, we have the prototypical pull hitter on deck in Tony Batista, and everybody plays him to pull, and he cuts down the areas where he can get hits, but that's his style of hitting. And Batista is a dead pull hitter, and he will hit home runs and hit a lot of them, as he has, but he's just a different type of hitter. And Jay Gibbons has the ability to hit balls to the opposite field, and when you do that, you spread out the defense, both on the infield and in the outfield. And when you have the defense spread out, there's a lot more room for base hits.
No question. Bounce slowly to the left of the mound. Topko will get off field and throw out Jay Gibbons. We're going to the bottom of the fourth in Busch Stadium. Still scoreless. Pitching, Rick Helling, Brett Topko dominating here in St. Louis. Now on Saturday, June 14th, Fujifilm Rich Camera Center's on-field photo night. Gate C is going to open early at Oriole Park. It'll be 4 in the afternoon. The first 5,000 fans with cameras will be allowed down to the warning track to take pictures of your favorite Orioles. For tickets to the June 14th Fujifilm Rich Camera Center's photo night, call, of course, that number you see right there on the bottom of your screen, or go on the website at theorioles.com. With my partner Buck Martinez, I'm Michael Regai. Orioles trying to win their first in this interleague two-city road trip after dropping 3 in Houston to the Astros. As Rick Helling in the strike zone to Scott Rowland, the young man from the state of Indiana, who became an all-star with the Philadelphia Phillies, and now really hot. He's got a base hit left center field. On a line over the head of Davy Cruz as Rowland opens up the Cardinals' fourth with the Cards' third base hit of the night.
Helling made a pretty good pitch on Scott Rowland. It was a fastball, jammed him, but he is so strong that he flared it into left field. He took a first pitch strike on a curveball. Helling came inside, and you could see just a little soft pump back liner into left field. Now, if I was Mike Hargrove, I might be thinking about LaRussa starting the runner here. Rowland runs well. Renteria can make contact, and we are locked in a scoreless game.
A right-handed hitting shortstop, Edgar Renteria, trying to put that bunt down. We started our conversation the first time he's at the plate. The 4 American League shortstops that get all the acclaim, and they deserve it because they're outstanding. But why hasn't the game caught on to this young man in terms of all of the skills that he possesses to be ranked with those guys? Is because he hadn't done it over that kind of period of time as the others have?
Well, for me, he is as complete a player. He doesn't have the power of A-Rod, but then again, who does? But certainly, if you were filling out your ballot for National League shortstop in the All-Star game, Edgar Renteria would have to be top of the list, because he runs well, great defender, Gold Glove winner, .283 career hitter.
And this is not a small man now. I think I mentioned 6'1", about 205, 210 pounds.
He just doesn't have the home run total.
0-2 from Helling. Coming right back our way. Buck Martinez almost had a play.
Just a little bit short of the mark.
You almost had the play. Right here in, what are we, about 4 levels up? Here just to the right first base side of home plate. Well, look at Edgar Renteria at home. He and Albert Pujols really crushed the baseball here at Busch Stadium. You've got Pujols at 419 and Edgar Renteria at 391 as home hitters here at Busch.
They can get into a routine, and the hitting background here in St. Louis is as good as any in baseball. Very comfortable in his surroundings in his home ballpark.
A 1-2 on the slick fielding, hard hitting shortstop of Tony La Russa. I don't know about the job La Russa has done here in St. Louis. You mentioned Central Division crowns. He's on a roll. A little bit of a problem, though, winning in postseason and getting to the World Series. Base hit right field. Renteria went the other way. Rowland will race the third, and St. Louis in business against Rick Helling with back-to-back base hits from Rowland and Renteria that'll set the table for Tino Martinez.
Well, that's how you lead your league in hitting, by hitting 2 strike base hits. He fouled off a couple of pitches and then rips one by Jeff Conine. Scott Rowland really runs the base as well. Very short turnaround second, and he stands up at third base, and the Cardinals have something going. Laversa very pleased with the way his Cardinals have started out the bottom of the 4th.
Career leader among active managers as far as wins go, as the 4-time manager of the year. 1,955 wins for Tony La Russa. And what does it seem like the last times the Orioles were the postseason play, the year the Birds won it all, 1983. They went through Tony La Russa's Chicago White Sox to get to the World Series and beat those Philadelphia Phillies. And now Rick Helling falling behind Tino Martinez. He starts Martinez off with back-to-back breaking balls.
And this is where this Cardinal lineup really impresses you. You have Tino Martinez hitting 7th. And you really have an opportunity to score in the bottom part of your order.
2-0 pitch. That'll miss high. How much of an adjustment do you think? And maybe, I think you hit on the big thing. It took him a year to replace the captain of the Yankees, Don Mattingly. He comes over here to replace Mark McGwire. But is there a big adjustment for hitters going from the American League to the National League?
Well, I'm hearing different things from different players. I've had Jim Thome tell me it's a dramatic adjustment.
Green light, ripped to right, base hit. Rolling to the plate. Renteria racing to third. Gibbons' throw is high, and it lets Tino Martinez move up a bag into scoring position. Jay Gibbons, he knows he can't let that happen. Missed the cutoff man. Allowed Martinez to take second base. 1-0 St. Louis. Give Tino his 22nd RBI of the year.
Edgar Renteria decoyed Jay Gibbons. First, let's look at the 3-0 swing by Martinez. And Edgar Renteria, watch the base runner at first base. He starts out by just jogging. Look at him. He's not running hard at all. And then all of a sudden, Jay Gibbons thinks he's not going to run. Renteria puts on the jets and goes into third base. He decoyed Jay Gibbons into thinking that he was going to stop at second base. And then Gibbons, in his rush when he saw Renteria around second, threw wide of the mark at third, missed the cutoff man, and that allowed Tino Martinez to move into second base.
So pretty heady base running then from Edgar Renteria, and what it's done is set up a situation with, as you look at Renteria, a pair of cards at scoring position now. Renteria at third base, Tino Martinez at second base, and Rick Helling in the spot, having given up 3 base hits. The RBI single, Tino Martinez, is 22nd run driven into the year.
Well, remember in last night's game in a similar situation, Jimmy Williams put a squeeze play on in this situation.
Sure.
With the pitcher coming up next and nobody out, you go ahead and see if you can catch this run in. I think it might be premature in this situation, given it's just a 1-run ball game.
Let's see. Helling's going to go out of the stretch to Chris Widger, and he's got the breaking ball in the strike zone. As we mentioned, though, his first turn at bat, Brett Tomko, he did fan swinging, but Tomko has been able to help himself a little bit. Came into tonight hitting .286 and with 4 RBI. So we'll see as Helling gets ahead of Widger quickly at 0-2. Rick would love a couple of Ks here to be able to fan Widger and then Tomko, and take the chances with Cairo with 2 down and a couple in scoring position. Renteria at third base, Tino Martinez at second base. Here's Helling's 0-2.
Michael, what pitchers would like to be able to do in this situation is just to separate each at bat. Helling knows second and third, nobody out, 1 run in. I've got to minimize the damage here. Try to keep at least one of these guys from scoring, possibly both of them, and keep it to a 1-run game.
1-2 pitch. This is drilled to center. Matos chasing. He can't get there. Over his head, up against the wall. Going to score a couple. Renteria to the plate. Here comes Tino Martinez on the 2-run double off the bat of Chris Widger. That ball was smoked, and Matos playing fairly shallow against Widger. It carried over his head, and one hop up on that 4:02 mark. 3-0 St. Louis.
You just don't want to throw this pitch up in the zone in a sacrifice fly situation. And that's what happened. Widger put the ball into play to center field. It went over the head of the center fielder. Renteria scores easily. Tino Martinez, who went to second base on the high throw from Jay Gibbons, scores from second.
Tomko puts a butt down. It's a good one. Helling's got to go to first base with Roberts covering. So Tomko does his job. The sacrifice successful. 1-4 covering, and now Mike Hargrove and the Birds are going to have to draw the infield in, down by 3.
Perfect execution of the bunt. Drops it right in front of the mound on the grass. Helling has to go to first. Widger goes to third on the play.
See Mike Hargrove flashing the signs to Geronimo Gil. Orioles will draw the infield in. Batista, Cruz, Roberts at Conine near the edge of the grass against Miguel Cairo. So they'll get out of play. Oh, these hot Cardinals that have just come off the sweep of the Toronto Blue Jays. As you look at Jose Oquendo buck that third base coach.
Yeah, he'll walk over and verbally talk to their base runner should there be a play on. Doesn't appear as though he didn't go through any series of signs. He just hollered at Cairo to hit a line drive.
Helling's 0-1. He hit Cairo. Just put a couple aboard.
Try to come inside, and you can see the target set up on the inside corner, and Cairo just kind of turns into it and takes it off the back of his left arm. Another base runner, more pressure. Helling now will have to deal with the very speedy Orlando Palmeiro in a double play situation.
Tough guy to double up, Buck. He hits a ball maybe on one hop real sharply at Roberts or Cruz. Could possibly get it done, but anything else can be very difficult to double up Orlando Palmeiro. He's had a base hit tonight. St. Louis up by 3. It's still threatening. Wasn't a suicide squeeze as Palmeiro was squaring around, almost the safety squeeze variety with Widger at third base.
Tony La Russa in his dugout flashing signs to Oquendo down at third. Didn't look like he was pleased with that play right there. Palmeiro may have been doing that on his own.
Now Helling out of the stretch. Oh, he got him leaning, but wait a minute. Wait a minute. Helling has been called for a balk, as it looked like he had Miguel Cairo dead to rights. Bruce Fremming, that first base umpire, said Rick Helling balked.
Well, Mike Hargrove not contesting the call. Take a look at Helling. Does he go toward third base? He stepped toward third base. And Fremming, watch the step. Does he step toward third? All he has to do is clear the rubber toward third. He boy made a very short step, but indeed it looked like he went toward third. But Bruce Fremming, the senior umpire in this crew at first base, called a balk on Rick Helling.
So that allows Chris Widger to come to the plate with run number 4 of this St. Louis 4th inning. Cairo in scoring position, and a 2-0 to Palmeiro and make it 3-0. Rick Helling, after pitching very, very well for the first 3 innings, now scuffling around and trying to find his rhythm here in the 4th.
Now, this has been a pattern for Helling where he would breeze for a while, and then all of a sudden one inning would jump up, and he couldn't figure out how to get out of that one inning.
3-1 on Palmeiro.
Rowland got it started with a little flare into left field. Renteria had a 2-strike base hit to right field, and then Tino Martinez a 3-0 base hit to right. And Chris Widger did the damage with that 2-run double to center.
3 singles, a double, hit by pitch and a walk, and Mark Wiley is on the phone to the O's bullpen, which is in left center field. There you see Mr. Oriole, Elrod Hendricks. He takes the phone calls and will start the activity out there. And that's Rick Bauer, the right-hander, getting up and ready to loosen. Now Rick Helling is in the dangerous part of this St. Louis order, with Albert Pujols taking the breaking ball on the outside corner. Still only one out. Helling got that on that sacrifice bunt from Brett Tomko. He's faced 7 hitters this inning. As you look at Cairo at second base and Palmeiro at first base with their leads. And Pujols will foul it straight back.
This is what we were talking about with Albert Pujols, his first 2 years in the big leagues. 321 average, averaging 35.5 home runs, almost 130 RBIs, and he scored 115 runs in each of his first 2 years. And you can see why they're very pleased about Albert Pujols here in St. Louis.
0-2 breaking ball. That's raked to center. Base hit. Cairo being waved in. 5-0 St. Louis. Albert Pujols now 2 for 2 in the night. The leading hitter in all of Major League Baseball. Up near 390 now. And give Pujols his 46th RBI of the year.
Well, Pujols very, very good at staying back on breaking balls, and he just served it into center field, cashed in that base runner from second base. Here comes Miguel Cairo, who was hit by a pitch.
Rick Helling still with problems here in inning number 4. Palmeiro and Pujols aboard, and Jim Edmonds foul that first pitch to the seats up the line and left. Well, the Cardinals checking in with a 5 spot and still going here in the 4th inning. They've done it on 5 base hits, 4 singles, a double, a walk, a hit by pitch, and don't forget about the balk against Rick Helling, as Helling facing the 9th hitter of the inning. And Jim Edmonds, the man who got it started, Scott Rowland, awaiting in the on-deck circle. As the breaking ball is fouled away by Edmonds.
These two have faced each other quite a bit. Edmonds, of course, playing for the Angels. Helling pitching for the Rangers. And then last year they were both in the National League when Rick pitched for the Diamondbacks.
Oh, Helling ahead of Edmonds. 0-2 breaking ball. Froze him and got him looking. Jim Edmonds to exit the home plate area, a strikeout victim of Rick Helling for out number 2 here in the 4th.
Well, that curveball, Edmonds had a good look at it, just felt like it was off the plate. Take another look at it. Helling drops it on the outside corner. Mike Winters, the home plate umpire, rings him up.
The man that started it, as you look at Palmeiro and Pujols with their lead. Scott Rowland, who led off with a base hit. So he's the 10th hitter to face Rick Helling here in this 5-run St. Louis 4th inning. The O's coming off that 11-1 pasting last night. Not an advantageous place to be down by 5 against the St. Louis ball club that just lights it up in interleague play at 15-3 here at home at Busch Stadium. Rick Helling trying to get out of this 4th inning without any further damage. 0-2 to Rowland. Breaking ball missed away. Rowland certainly had his run-ins with Larry Boa, the skipper of the Philadelphia Phillies, and for a while even fell out of favor with the Philadelphia faithful at the Vet as he was going through contract negotiations. And what did he turn down, Buck? Wasn't it around a $130 million deal he turned down?
Yeah, it was a huge deal, a 10-year deal. It worked out to about $130 million over the life of the contract. But I think even more than the conflict he had with Larry Bowa was the fact that the ballpark caused him problems. He wasn't comfortable on the East Coast. He's a Midwest guy from Indiana. And at the time, his back was hurting him playing on the artificial surface. And it just wasn't a good fit for him. And he didn't shy away from anything. I mean, he's a gamer, and, you know, the fans getting on him, that didn't bother him. He was a professional baseball player. He's going to play hard wherever he is. But just wasn't a good fit. Philadelphia recognized they weren't going to be able to sign him after they made that good offer. Dealt him here to St. Louis.
And he has flourished as a Cardinal. 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball. Flared to center. Brian Roberts racing on that outfield grass to put it away. Roberts got a good jump on it. Rick Helling gives up 5 in the 4th inning. Baltimore Orioles baseball on the Orioles television network is being brought to you in part by your Baltimore Chevrolet dealer. The concourses here at the Busch Stadium in red. What else? As the Cardinals put that crooked number 5 on the board in the bottom of the 4th, and they've taken this 5-run advantage against the Birds. All right, our Aflac trivia question tonight. 1973, American League created the designated hitter. Marked the last time American League pitchers regularly hit in a game until interleague play in 97. Who was the Orioles' first designated hitter? We asked you this last half inning. Buck and I were thinking Lee May. I got another one for you. What about Earl Williams, big catcher that came from Atlanta?
Yeah, well,
what about him?
He was in the same era, but it was
Crow.
How about that? Terry Crowley, the Orioles hitting coach, was the first Orioles designated hitter.
Chip Winfield got us. Oh, that tricky Chip Winfield, our producer that stumped us tonight. But Lee May was a good thought. But it was a Crow, the Orioles hitting coach Terry Crowley. Well, let's head to inning number 5. Orioles need to start to swing the bats here. Down by 5 now against Brett Tomko. That's a shot to left. Tony Batista ripped between Roland and Renteria. So Tony Batista picks up the leadoff base hit for the Birds, and for the Orioles, their 3rd base hit of the night off Brett Tomko.
Right on cue, Michael. You said they need to start hitting. Tony Batista delivers right past Scott Rowland. They can get something going here, get back in this ball game. Rowland couldn't make the move to his glove side and knock that one down. Batista has his first hit of the night.
I mentioned the Orioles 5th in the American League at 275 as Davy Cruz looks at the Tomko breaking pitch and misses. The Orioles even better than that, 283 as a road hitting club, and that's 2nd in the American League. The Orioles have swung the bats a little bit better on foreign soil away from Oriole Park. There's no rhyme or reason for that, really, with the exception of maybe you take advantage of some of these speedier, harder surfaces that some ballparks are tailored to, as far as the dirt in front of the plate, maybe the infield and what have you, as that's ripped foul just outside the bag.
Well, Camden Yards is a small ballpark, so it might be more advantageous were the Orioles a powerful fly ball hitting ball club, but most of their guys are line drive hitters, with the exception of Tony Batista. Even Jay Gibbons, who is tied with Batista for the club lead in home runs, is more of a line drive hitter, and I think that's what Terry Crowley likes to teach. Use the whole field, hit for a good average. The home runs will be the result of a good approach.
Cruz with a shot to deep left center. Edmonds not going to get that. Couple of skips up against the wall. Being waved in, Tony Batista. Here he comes, and the Birds are on the board. 2-base hit to the gap. Well, Davy Cruz got all over that. That ball was scalded on one hop. And the Birds get Davy Cruz 23rd RBI of the year to get on the board.
Boy, you don't see many balls hit the center that Jim Edmonds doesn't flag down, but this one gets over his head all the way to the wall in left center. I think Edmonds was a little bit disappointed in his jump. Tony Batista scores all the way from first base, and the O's are on the board. That'll get the life back in that Orioles dugout.
Here's Geronimo Heel, who takes a first pitch fastball for the called strike. B.J. Surhoff is in that on-deck circle, so B.J. will be inserted here in the 5th inning by Mike Hargrove. So Rick Helling's night will be through as a Heel got jammed there. Geronimo trying to go inside out, and he's in an 0-2 hole.
Yeah, Geronimo had a pretty good approach right there, trying to advance the runner. Rick Helling had a tough 4th inning. 5 runs on 5 hits. Another short night for the starter.
Yes, it was, as Heel stays alive by fighting off the Tomko 0-2. And for Rick Helling, coming off very strong outing, by the way, too, and on that win over Texas at Oriole Park, when Rick went 7 innings the last day of May and only gave up the 1 run. Birds went out with a 7-1 win. Heel with a drive into the corner and right. That ball is fair. Extra base hit. Geronimo Heel. Davy Cruz to the plate, and just like that, the Orioles have put together 3 straight base hits, trying to battle their way back here. And what Mike Hargrove really likes, production from down in the bottom of that offensive lineup.
Well, we talk about managing where you are in the lineup, and give credit to Geronimo Hill for having a great at bat. He was thinking right field all throughout this at bat, fouled off a couple of tough pitches down and in, and gets a pitch out on the outside part of the plate and hammers it down into the corner. That's a great at bat right there for the number 8 hitter. And he did a heck of a job advancing Davy Cruz, eventually scoring him when he hit the double down in the corner. I mean, that's a very good approach. He sacrificed himself to keep that at bat alive, got a good pitch, and then got himself a base hit and an RBI.
Buck, interesting move here from manager Mike Hargrove. We saw B.J. Surhoff in the on-deck circle, but with Heel's double and now an opportunity for a sacrifice situation, he's going to go to Jose Morban instead.
Well, he is going to let Morban hit in this situation. I'm sure he's been instructed, get the job done, move him over now, Jose. That's what Hargrove was saying to him. So you save B.J. Surhoff for a more important at-bat, possibly later on in the game.
So saving a bullet is manager Mike Hargrove right here. And but now Morban's job, he's got to hit a ball on the right side on the ground. They try to move Heel over here. See if the Orioles can execute. So Morban went right through the Tomko fastball.
Now you see Tino Martinez, the first baseman, backing up. He was in close to guard against the bunt. And now Morban really has to concentrate, grind to hit that ball on the ground on the right side. Move Hill over to third base.
The youngster played in both the Texas and Minnesota chains. Jose, the Rule 5 Oriole pickup on the ball club, on the major league roster all year long. Not a lot of playing time. His major league base hit was a pinch hit home run at Oriole Park. 2-2 on Morban.
Well, and Mike Hargrove knows full well that Morban hasn't had enough at-bats to really expect him to be able to just go up there and turn the ball over and pull it on the right side, but you know that's what he's been told to do, and you're going to find out a lot about the young man in situations like this. He hasn't had a lot of opportunities, but he can certainly make an impression on his skipper.
Got fooled on the breaking ball. Jose Morban, a strikeout victim for the first out here in inning number 5.
Tomko went with the changeup, and you can see how it fools Morban. Pretty good pitch selection. Got a young hitter at the plate, anxious to do the job, and you throw him a changeup, and he swings at it wildly.
So Morban, a strikeout victim as a pinch hitter, and here's Brian Roberts. Brian looking for his first base hit tonight. He's 0 for 2, had 6 hits. This young switch hitter during the Houston series. And hope you had a chance to enjoy some of the conversation I had with Brian Roberts. Is a very engaging young man, knows the game of baseball.
Look where Tino Martinez is here at first base. He is back at first base, and if Brian takes a peek at him, there's an opportunity for a base hit there. Go first and third and get on base ahead of Luis Matos.
It's a slash to the corner and left. Is that going to get down? It does. Fair ball into the left field corner. Heel to the plate, opposite field double for Brian Roberts. The third two-base hit of the inning for the O's. And hey, the Birds are right back into this one with this 3-run rally after spotting St. Louis 5 in the bottom of the 4th.
Here comes the veteran pitching coach Dave Duncan as Hill gets congratulated in the dugout for a job well done. He has now scored the third Oriole run, and here is one of these two young players making another big hit. Brian Roberts takes it down the left field line, keeps it inside the foul line down the left field corner, picks up another double, picks up another RBI. Now 15 RBIs in 15 games.
Buck, it was interesting when I asked him about that during our conversation tonight before the game. He smiled and said, well, yeah, 8 of them came on 2 swings. But it's true, but that's okay.
That's all right.
The bottom line is you got 15 runs driven in, young man. And, oh, it's fun to watch Brian Roberts and how he's performing for the Birds. As you get a look at Kiko Calero throwing in the bullpen. Matos with a shot that's fair by a diving Scott Rowland. Base hit. Here comes Roberts to the plate. Matos is going to hold on as Pujols got to the baseball and made a strong throw. Oh, Luis Matos on one pitch picking up Brian Roberts, and Tony La Russa has watched the Orioles come bouncing back with 4. Matos with his 7th RBI of the year.
Not wasting any time, gets an inside fastball, rips it past the diving Scott Rowland, and Brian Roberts comes around third and scores easily. Just like that, the Orioles are right back in this game. How many times have we seen it since Roberts and Matos have come to this ball club? They're in the midst of run-scoring rallies time and time again.
Already 3 base hits for the top 2, and might have a chance as this weekend wears on to hear from Luis Matos here on the Orioles television network. Luis, to think that he likes being able to utilize some of his tremendous gifts and being able to hit the number 2 hole in the lineup. The last 3 games that he's played, as Melvin Mora takes a breaking ball for a called strike. But well, you got to admire the way the Orioles have responded here after getting hit with that 5 spot, Buck. They have battled right back into this one and closed the gap down to just 1.
Michael, we've seen that time and time again from this Orioles ball club. You know, they're not giving up. They continue to battle, and even though it looked like a big hole to fight back from tonight, they are right back in this game. Steve Klein, the left-hander, has joined Kiko Calero. And we talk about getting into that Cardinal bullpen. That's exactly where you want to be, because it's been a real soft spot on this ball club.
2-1 to Mora. Matos is going. The throw is not in time. I think Chris Widger, well, he might have got himself on the bat of Melvin Mora. Now, wait a minute. They're going to send Luis Matos back to first base as the trainer Barry Weinberg is out. The explanation forthcoming to Melvin Mora.
Now, Mike Winters, the umpire, has called Mora out for interference, and Chris Widger is in severe pain. Mora is saying, I never left the batter's box. The batter has the right to that batter's box. He doesn't have to get out of anybody's way as long as he doesn't step across that inner line of the batter's box. And Mike Hargrove is trying to plead Mora's case, and Mora has been called for interference. He is out. Take a look. Watch Mora here. Matos steals. Chris Widger comes out of the box. Melvin swings, and he looks like he is right there. And in fact, he ducks out of the way. He has the right to stay in the batter's box. Watch where Mora is. right there. He stays out of the way. That's a bad call. He has the right to stay in the batter's box. He didn't come out of the batter's box. In fact, he tried to duck out of the way. And I don't think that's a good call.
As we saw on the replay, and very good look from our talented camera crew and all the guys in tape on the follow-through there. Chris Widger, his follow-through after he released the baseball, you'll see he hits the hitting helmet of Melvin Moore.
Now see, here's the inside line there. Melvin, well, actually there now he looks like he did step closer to the plate, but he tried to get out of the way. And Widger's follow-through hits the helmet. He hits his hand on Melvin's helmet as he follows through with the throw. So Moore is called out for interference with the catcher. Widger still being attended to by Barry Weinberg, the Cardinals trainer. Yeah, that's where it hurts, Barry.
Buck, you ever do that? You ever on the throw to second base or third base get a bat of the hitter or a helmet?
I've never hit a hitter in the helmet like that. You've made contact before. And, you know, catchers are instructed to do that. Make the contact if you think it's anywhere close to being interference. And in that last replay, Melvin's foot appeared to be behind the plate. But
yeah,
that
make
was
contact.
a tough call.
Easy for a manager to say, but you come up like Chris Widger is with a lot of pain in that throwing hand after the follow-through hit the helmet of Melvin Moore.
Now watch Melvin Moore as he steps right there. Now he is indeed behind home plate there, and that's what Mike Winters saw. But I tell you what, that's a tough call. Winters is directly behind Widger, obviously, so he has a good look. I don't know that he can continue this game. I mean, he's trying to throw the baseball. He says he's all right. Mike Matheny has come down from the bullpen. He's putting on the gear should he be needed. And Tony Lewis is going to make sure, mind you, we're in a one-run game. Widger said, I'm okay. Now looks like he's going to leave. Here comes Matheny. And Widger's going to have to leave this ballgame.
And Mike Matheny will take over. Barry Weinberg, the trainer, the native of Silver Spring, Maryland, of course, grew up around the Baltimore area. And Mike Matheny now will be given an opportunity to get loose behind the plate, which lets us give you an idea what's coming up. Our Heineken What's on Tap. We'll be right here on the Orioles television network tomorrow against the St. Louis Cardinals, 4 o'clock Eastern time on Fox 45 in Baltimore. And then Sunday, series winds up against the Cards right here again on the Orioles television network. Then after the day off Monday, Tuesday night, Wednesday night against the Chicago Cubs. Dusty Baker's ball club rolling into Oriole Park. Comcast Sportsnet, the cable home of the Birds, will carry both Tuesday and Wednesday night's games starting at 7 o'clock back at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. So that's our Heineken What's on Tap. A lot of baseball, and if you can't be out at Oriole Park, make sure you join us on the television side, and of course finish up this series here in St. Louis. So Mike Matheny behind the plate as Jeff Conine looks at the called strike. So the catcher's interference, the hitter's interference that impeded in the mind of Mike Winters the effort of catcher Chris Widger to throw the baseball. So Mora ruled out, and the Matos stolen base wiped off the boards as he returns to first base.
Every defending player on the field has the right to a clear opportunity to make a defensive play, and if there's interference by the offense, the defending player is going to be called out.
Sharply up the middle, backhanding Cairo to take a base hit away from Jeff Conine. Well, Jeff Conine just can't find the seam. Halfway home at St. Louis, Birds get 4 and trail it by 1. Baltimore Orioles baseball on the Orioles television network is being brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. More than 2,700 nonstop daily flights to 59 destinations all across the country. A lot of offense in the last at bat for each ball club, huh? Cardinals got 5 in the 4th. Orioles respond with 4 in the 5th. And Mike Hargrove conversing with home plate umpire Mike Winters between innings.
Yeah, he wanted to come out and check with Winters again on that Melvin Moore interference, and looks like he's satisfied with the explanation. And then he tells him, Rick Bauer is my new pitcher to start this inning.
So Rick Bauer allowed a run in the inning and 2/3 he threw on Wednesday night in Houston, and he went in back-to-back games for the first time since the first week of the season. So Bauer on the mound now, and he's got a job to do, and that is keep this hot-hitting Cardinal offense down, as the Orioles have worked their way right back into this one, down by just a run. As Edgar Renteria's had a base hit tonight and scored a run. Breaking ball from Bauer, and Renteria is going to pop it up as Brian Roberts will ease his way onto the grass in shallow right to put it away.
Michael, baseball is such a fascinating game because you can come to the ballpark and see things you've never seen before, even if you're the best of fans. But the season for the Orioles, early on they got great pitching. Nobody hit. Now they're scoring runs in bunches, and the pitching is giving up runs in bunches, and it's just a frustrating situation because you can't get both of them on the same page at the same time.
Tino Martinez first pitch swinging. Tony Batista wide to third, playing that hop and throwing out Martinez. So 3 pitches and a couple of outs for Rick Bauer.
Well, that's important to get your hitters back to the plate right away. They just put up a 4 spot to get back in this game, and coming to mound in this situation, say, you know what, I got to make quick work of this Cardinal lineup here and get back on offense.
Now the first plate appearance for the starting catcher of the Redbirds, Mike Matheny. Matheny began his career in the Milwaukee Brewers organization, of course. A real good job at the plate. You see him at 282 on the year, and well, this is significantly higher than his career average. As Bauer will pour the fastball in for a called strike. So Matheny, who came on replacing the injured Chris Widger just moments ago. Important the job that Rick Bauer is doing here in the bottom of the 5th. So he can get the Orioles right back into the dugout and start to swing the bats again. And Tony La Russa is bringing Brett Tomko into the on-deck circle right now, and there has been action, though, as we've shown you in that St. Louis pen. Both Klein and Calero got up on the outside corner from Bauer, and he's ahead of Matheny.
Right, Michael, we talk about managers and the difficult decisions they have to make, and Tony La Russa is not really anxious to go down in that bullpen. And they have been roughed up, and they're going to get better soon because they're going to get Jason Isringhausen back. He is thrown a rehab inning, but La Russa, he'll never be one to discredit any aspect of his team, but he kind of wrinkles his brow when he talks about his bullpen and says, you know, we're going through a tough stretch. My guys are trying hard, but I think that's why he's probably sticking with Brett Tomko.
The lawyer, of course, right? Counselor La Russa.
Counselor, he will never put his clients in jeopardy.
There you go.
8th season here in St. Louis. He had a great run in Oakland. Leads the active managers in wins.
Closing in on 2,000 big league wins. Matheny tried to check it, and he's gone. Breaking ball that fooled him. Through 5 at St. Louis. Orioles have battled back and down just a run at 5-4. By a run at 5-4 before we head to the 6th inning. O's fans, on Father's Day, don't give your dad cash, give him money, and a lot of musical money. Eddie Money we're talking about on Father's Day, Sunday, June 15th. The post-game Eddie Money concert at Oriole Park following the Orioles Brewers interleague game. For your tickets to see the June 15th Orioles game, which of course features that post-game Eddie Money concert, call that number you see on your screen. Go online at theorioles.com. Great to have you along tonight on the Orioles Television Network. Our producer Chip Winfield, director Bob Whitelaw, and all of our outstanding crew here in St. Louis. With Buck Martinez, I'm Michael Regai. Orioles got 4 in the top of the 5th. And it'll be Jay Gibbons to lead things off for the Birds. Gibbons, Tony Batista, and Davy Cruz here in inning number 6. Jay looking for his first base hit tonight. So Brett Tomko, he weathered the storm, finally got out of inning number 5, but not before the Orioles touched him up for 4 runs on 5 base hits, and 3 of them doubles from Davy Cruz. The RBI double, Geronimo Gil, RBI double Brian Roberts.
Well, we mentioned that Tony La Russa felt that this was a very important start for Brett Tomko. He wants to get him turned around. He wants to get him confident. But you can see he's pacing in the dugout, trying to decide that's what he should do here. Tomko still with a 1-run lead. And I mentioned earlier, Tomko pitched very well early in the season, didn't get much run support. He could have had 2, maybe 3 more wins.
Gibbons pops up the breaking ball on the right side, and that's Tino Martinez toward the mound to squeeze it. Gibbons is gone, popping out to Martinez. Well, there you get a look at Dustin Hermanson. Hermanson, Buck, a promising starting pitcher.
Well, the Red Sox had him as a starter last year. He was their number 2 starter, and he got hurt in the first game of the season when he slipped on a wet mound at Fenway Park. And La Russa feels like Hermanson may be better suited to be a starter, but right now, with the makeup of this team, they don't have a spot for him.
That pushed Tony Batista off the plate. Tony got this whole Oriole offensive flurry started tonight. He picked up that base hit to left. The leadoff inning number 5. Batista with a shot to deep left. Pujols on the track with the leap, and he can't get it. That's over his head. Extra bases, Batista. Tony's going to head to third. Pujols throw, not in time. Tony Batista taking a little bit of a liberty on Albert Pujols as that baseball carried him away. We watched Batista round second, and he had 3 bases in mind from the get-go.
Now Batista really hammers this pitch and gets it toward the wall in left. Pujols has a beat on it, jumps for it. It's just beyond his glove, and then he tries to find it. And Tony Batista, look at him. He says, okay, I've got a shot to go to third base, and Tony does a good job of moving into third ahead of that errant throw. The throw was off the mark at third base, and I'm sure the Orioles talked about Pujols. You see him wearing that sleeve on his right elbow. He's got a sprained ligament in his elbow, and he's not throwing well, and he was instructed for a while not even to throw. But Batista challenged the left fielder and took advantage of Pujols' elbow problem. Boy, this is a heart-to-heart talk on the mound right now. La Russa saying, hey, man, you need to step it up a little bit. We need you to give us another couple of innings here. And, you know, that's not a normal procedure for a manager to come out and deliver a speech like that, but La Russa feels it's important for Brett Tomko to step up a bit. And he gave him an opportunity to come back out this inning.
Ever notice how when a manager makes that trip to the mound and it's not a pitching change, it's always a one-way conversation?
Oh, yeah, you don't want anybody saying, but.
No. Most often, you don't see the pitcher utter too much way of verbiage. It's usually the skipper doing all the talking. So here's Davy Cruz. Infield in. Roland, Renteria, Cairo, and Martinez are all on the cut of the grass, as you see from this shot from up above behind home plate. Rip off the glove of Roland. Base hit. Birds are going to tie it up. Extra bases for Davy Cruz. And the Orioles have come all the way back to tie it at 5 apiece. Davy Cruz continuing to swing the solid bat. His second consecutive double in 2 turns at the plate. And he's driven in his second run of the night, his 24th of the year, and that's going to be all for Tomko.
Boy, that was a bullet to the glove side, backhand side of Roland, and it rattles around down in the corner. And Cruz really swinging a hot bat. He has done a great job since a struggling April. Tony Batista with the triple comes in to score. Batista's first triple of the year. And a very reluctant Tony La Russa had to make his second trip to the mound. And he's frustrated, but give credit to Batista, who got the inning started in the 5th with a single. And his one-out triple here has led to the Orioles tying up the game.
Brand new, all even at 5 apiece. We'll tell you about Dustin Hermanson. The next they'll call to the bullpen. The Orioles have come roaring back in Busch Stadium. Brand new now, huh? All even at 5 apiece as the Orioles have come storming back offensively in the last 2 turns at the plate. All right, host fans, our friends at Heineken would like us to remind you to have fun this weekend. Enjoy Orioles baseball, but please make sure that you drink responsibly. Now, manager Mike Hargrove feeling a whole lot better about things after the Birds spotted St. Louis this 5-0 lead tonight.
Mike's been very pleased with the way the offense has put up runs lately. Over the last couple of weeks, they have really scored a lot of runs and swung the bats very well. And again tonight, they have done the job against Brett Tomko, and now it's Dustin Hermanson out of the Cardinals bullpen, making his 18th appearance. Opponent's batting average over 300. He's given up a lot of hits. But as I mentioned earlier, Tony Russo thinks that Hermanson is better suited to be a starter. That's where he's pitched most of his career, in Montreal and in Boston.
Now here's Geronimo Gil as Hermanson will miss low. Geronimo had a terrific at-bat his last turn at the plate. He doubled into the right field corner and fell behind in the count, but Buck, we could see it. He was pulling his hands, trying to stay inside the baseball. He was thinking right field all the way.
He sure was. It was a tremendous at bat. He was rewarded with an RBI double.
1-1 on Gil. The Birds got 4 in the 5th, and now 1 here in the 6th to tie it up and have Davy Cruz in scoring position. Is Hermanson, who last night against Toronto after St. Louis had built the big lead. Breaking ball bounced over the mound for Miguel Cairo to toss out Gil. Cruz will move over to third base. Now with 2 down in the Orioles 6th.
I think it's pretty interesting that Hermanson, who had that rough outing last night, gets the ball on the next night. La Russa always one to try to get the players that have been beaten down back on the right track. And he gives the ball to Hermanson here with an opportunity in this tie ball game.
Now this is Rick Bauer's spot now, and Buck, I tell you what, it takes interleague baseball to see an American League team like the Orioles parade as many pinch hitters to the plate as we've seen now in 4 nights of interleague play. As Carlos Mendez, who hit that booming 2-base hit to the gap in left center field last night in Houston, now to pinch hit for Bauer.
Well, and this time Dave Duncan, the pitching coach, out with a little scouting reminder about Mendez, just to remind Hermanson, you know, you don't face a guy and you don't know much about Mendez. So Duncan out there just to give him a game plan and to help Dustin clear his mind so he can formulate an approach.
Buck, you got to feel good for a guy that's banged around the minor leagues for 13 years, and it's obvious the man knows how to swing the bat. He can flat out hit, and that's his calling card that's gotten him to the big show.
Well, he's come up with some hits, got a couple of doubles in his limited play here.
Davy Cruz 90 feet away if Mendez can pick him up, and Hermanson's ahead of him at 0-2.
Now Hermanson throws a fastball, a slider, and a split finger pitch, and that's important for Davy Cruz to be aware of here. He's liable to bounce one in the dirt with 2 strikes. Travis Driscoll heating up down in that bullpen.
And the 0-2 to Mendez. Oh, nice stop by Matheny. That is one of those 56-foot breaking balls, and Matheny got in front of it.
Well, that's the splitter. He throws it with 2 strikes, trying to get the strikeout, and he's so confident in Mike Matheny in his ability to block the ball. Russo told me that day, he says, have you ever heard of a catcher blocking balls when he warms up the starting pitcher? He blocks them in the bullpen.
Got Mendez swinging. Hermanson came under his hands with a fastball. Inning over. Orioles get 1, have tied it up. It's brand new in Busch, even at 5 apiece. Now the O's have battled back, and offensively the Birds have been so proficient during the course of the last 14 games in which they've gone 9-5. So they've used the offense to get even after spotting St. Louis a 5-0 lead, and now it's Travis Driscoll's turn out of the bullpen, working in his 8th game of the year.
Well, Driscoll makes the appearance after Rick Bauer faced just 3 batters. And you might ask, well, why did they change and take Bauer out? Because he had pitched in back-to-back games the last 2 nights, and on Wednesday night he pitched an inning and 2/3. So Mike Hargrove had an inkling that he could get an inning out of Bauer, and when Bauer was very effective, 3 up, 3 down, he went to Travis Driscoll after that 1 good inning.
So Travis Driscoll is going to be facing a pinch hitter. It's going to be Kerry Robinson. Robinson, lead off inning number 6. Started the year at AAA Memphis and just got recalled a little bit more than a week ago, maybe about 10 days ago. Actually homered coming back to St. Louis, a big club, as he homered against the Houston Astros off Tim Redding as a pinch hitter. So Kerry Robinson to lead off against Travis Driscoll, hitting for Dustin Hermanson in the number 9 spot in the lineup. It'll be back to the top with Miguel Cairo and Orlando Palmeiro next. Now 1-1 from Driscoll. Travis will miss with that splitter. So that's the out pitch for Driscoll, the splitter buck. It's a pitch that saw him go 5-0 as a starter last year. Like Carlos Mendez, another young man that has battled through a decade of minor league baseball and finally reaching the majors a year ago. Robinson with a shot to center, but Matos is there to put it away. So Luis Matos taking care of that line drive off the bat of Kerry Robinson, the pitch hitter. Great to have you with us tonight on the Orioles Television Network. Michael Regai with my partner Buck Martinez. Interleague baseball is a lot of fun, but the Orioles have found themselves first 2 games in Houston having leads, couldn't hold on to, got blown out last night, but now responding here tonight, trying to break the 3-game skid.
Well, I think throughout this entire stretch of interleague play, the hitters have maintained their confidence, and they don't seem to get down, even though they might trail in a particular ball game. But the pitching has to step up a little bit. It's not been that good on this trip, and certainly tonight, Rick Helling got up to a great start, had a tough 4th inning. Rick Bauer had a good 5th inning, and now it's to Travis Driscoll to try to keep the Cardinals quiet.
This is something, though, that Mike Hargrove has talked about the Birds right from the beginning of the season. Be competitive, play hard, try to do all the little things. As again, Kiko Calero is up in the bullpen, but Mike Hargrove said, I'm going to take my chances with this ball club. And they had to battle some injuries along the way. On the ground to the hole, Davy Cruz will circle and throw out Miguel Cairo. Well, a couple of quick outs for Travis Driscoll here in the sticks. All right, the Orioles and Coca-Cola teaming up to search the area for baseball's best teammates. All youth players 18 and under, male, female, Little League, high school, baseball, softball, all eligible. And what the Orioles and Coke are looking for here is you have a teammate who's committed to the game of baseball or softball, first to help out the club, nominate them to be an Orioles great teammate 2003. You saw that address on your screen at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. There it is, 333 West Camden Street in Baltimore, 21201. And you can be a part of the Orioles great teammate search. Can be honored on the field, by the way, at Oriole Park during the course of the summer. Orlando Palmeiro tonight's had a base hit in 2 turns and also drawn a walk as he faces Travis Driscoll. This is the 3rd Oriole pitcher that Mike Hargrove has used tonight. Rick Helling, the starter, only went 4 this evening as St. Louis put 5 on the board in the 4th inning to knock Helling out of the game tonight as Palmeiro fouls it away.
Everybody in that bullpen really worked a lot lately, but you've got to step up and try to economize on the pitches you throw. Give Mike Hargrove the option of using you for a couple of innings.
It has been rainy throughout the last couple of days here in St. Louis. Cloudy all day today, rained earlier, and a little bit on the cool side, Buck. I mean, St. Louis kind of like Baltimore, usually associated with 90-degree nights, but temperature right around 60 degrees, and but rather pleasant tonight for the Orioles and the Cardinals. That's hooked foul to the seats.
Yeah, this time of the year, you think about coming to the ballpark, get a T-shirt and a pair of shorts and sitting back and just kind of watching Cardinal baseball at Busch Stadium. It can get hot and steamy here in the middle of the summer, but it's not there yet.
It's bounced off the glove of Driscoll. Batista will bare hand. Not in time. The speed of Palmeiro beat it. I think if Travis Driscoll had to do over again, he'd pull off that baseball.
Yeah, but it's tough to do. Your instincts tell you to go for it, make a play on it. He deflected it. I think Davy Cruz makes a good play on this, makes an easy play of it, and there's Driscoll deflecting it. You can see Cruz moving into position to make the play. Batista, bare hands, but not in time to get the very speedy Orlando Palmeiro. Yeah, if Driscoll doesn't touch that, Davy Cruz makes an easy play of it up the middle.
Now, infield base hit for Palmeiro. That's his second of the night, and what it does is makes Driscoll face baseball's best hitter, at least average-wise right now. Albert Pujols up to 385 by going 2 for 2. He's driven in a run and also walked tonight. His 46th RBI of the year. That ties Scott Rowland for club leadership here with the Cards.
There are so many different hitting styles around baseball, and you probably wouldn't teach a young hitter to raise his back elbow as dramatically as Albert Pujols does, but it's testimony that many different styles work. That's Mitchell Page, hitting coach for the Cardinals, certainly relishing the opportunity to work with such a talented hitter like Pujols. But he gets himself into a great hitting position. That high elbow is something you don't see all that often anymore. Kind of like an Ernie Banks kind of thing. Remember Ernie Banks holding that elbow high away from his body? Bat pointed straight in the air. Very similar to where Pujols is here. Ooh, what a good play.
Nice stop by Heel. Palmeiro running late. He just ran himself right into an out at second base. Heel gunning down Orlando Palmeiro. We're going to go to the 7th. 5-5 here in St. Louis. Good one going on here to open the 3-game series of interleague baseball at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. And let's go back to the 6th inning, Buck, see how the Birds got on the board.
Tony Batista hits a ball off the wall in left field. Albert Pujols can't make a play on it. Pujols doesn't throw that well right now. And then Davy Cruz off the glove of Scott Rowland. His second double of the night, and Davy has really been swinging a hot bat. Batista got it started in the 5th. Same for the 6th inning. And there you see Davy Cruz, a pair of doubles. 2 RBIs. Melvin Moore extended his hit streak to an 18-gamer. And Luis Matos 2 for 3, an RBI double, and he has a 12-game hit streak.
Now Kerry Robinson pinch hit and lined out for Dustin Hermanson. He stays in the game and plays right field. And here's Kiko Calero in his 18th appearance of the year. Done a good job, as you see him in the opposition. Buck, and they had 222 against him.
Yeah, he's got a good arm. He hasn't pitched much lately. He was credited with a hold in Wednesday night's game against Toronto. That was the first game he appeared in for 8 days. Came in and did a good job.
Now let's see if Brian Roberts can get this started. Roberts doubled his last turn at the plate, so Brian 1 for 3 on the evening. Big 2-base hit as he got a pitch away and he slashed it just inside the chalk into that left field corner. And Brian Roberts is hit in 13 of the 15 that he has started in. He came to the ball club 2 weeks ago. Second game of the Anaheim series out west after the unfortunate broken right foot sustained by Jerry Hairston on that freak accident. Follow through at the plate. Buck, do you see any tape of that?
Yeah, I saw that.
Real unfortunate.
It's a very strange injury. Actually, I saw it once before when I was a player. Cookie Rojas was my teammate in Kansas City, and he ducked out of the way of a pitch, and his foot got stuck in the dirt awkwardly, and he broke his foot the same way.
Jerry followed through and almost, you know, rolled that way. First you think maybe, you know, could be a severe ankle sprain, but wound up that fifth metatarsal on that right foot as Hairston landed awkwardly. Roberts with a towering shot to right. Robinson on the track, and the yard's going to hold it as he'll put it away. Well, Brian Roberts made a bid to go out of here, but baseball seemed to get knocked down, and Robinson pulled it in.
That's a cool night, as we talked about, and it's an unfortunate situation. That ball didn't carry further.
Brian Roberts flying out to right. Here's Luis Matos. How about Luis Matos? 12-game hit streak. Picks up 12 more points on his average tonight. He's up to a rather gaudy 479. And Matos has doubled, singled, driven in a run tonight. And
is that what you would call a robust batting average?
Very robust. Like, what slow-pitch softball league are you playing in, huh?
What are you hitting, kid? Oh, 479. Yeah, right. No, what are you really hitting? 479.
All day, every day. The hits just keep on coming, huh?
Well, he looks good at the plate, too. You know, he just has that look about him that suggests he feels pretty confident.
Buck, when we speak to him as we do on just about a daily basis in the Orioles clubhouse, yeah, that what you just said, that's what you know. He's got that. I mean, he looks you straight in the eye, and he's got that glint, that gleam that says, I belong. I know it. I'm not going to be arrogant about it, but I'm just go out and show everybody why I've improved as a hitter.
There's not a great player that ever played the game that didn't think he was real good and confident, knowing that he was the best guy out there on that field. Pitcher, hitter, didn't make any difference. The great players all know they're great, and they have a lot of confidence.
3-1 to Matos. That'll miss downstairs. Luis with a walk. We chatted with Luis before the game tonight and asked him about being ready to play in the big leagues. What makes it different than previous stints with the Birds?
Yeah, they've been asking me that for the last week, you know, and I say that maybe the first time that I came here when I was 21, maybe I was too young for that, you know. But then the next 2 years, I was, you know, surgery those 2 years, so I didn't never have my rhythm where it's supposed to be. And, you know, this year I just went to AAA, and I started a good season there. I almost got like 200 at bat there, and I was hitting good there. And I just bring all that stuff here to this level so, you know, they can see that I can hit at this level too.
How about that? Yeah, they'll see that I can hit at this level too. He did, you know, shoulder injury. He's had a shoulder injury, and he's had the wrist injury in the last 3 years. It has, and in spring training too. It's happened a couple of times, and it impeded his progress.
But the thing that I mentioned earlier about this group of young players that's impressive, and not only can they play, and not only are they having success, but they're up-front guys. They show a lot of character. They take pride in who they represent. They step on the field ready to play, and they don't take anything for granted. They're here. They don't know how long they're going to be here, but they're going to do everything they can to make sure they stay here.
Down to 1-1 to Mora. Mike Winters said, no, that missed the outside corner.
And you know, around Baltimore, obviously, everybody is concerned about the future. Where is this team headed? What are we going to do to get better? What are we going to do to become a contending ball club? Well, you're going to get good everyday position players. They're going to be young. You're going to grow with them, and they're going to grow with each other. And all of a sudden, you're going to have a core group of homegrown kids playing every day.
And Buck, that's when it's really a lot of fun. You know, the excitement level. Let's go back to your career, you know, as a manager and as a guy that has helped to find talent. That talent matriculates. You get them to the major leagues, and I mean that kind of really juices people up. It rejuvenates people in terms of seeing youngsters being able to come together to the big leagues and help a ball club start to work its way up again.
You want to identify with the hometown team. You do that by following through the minors, following them through their first year or two in the big leagues, and watching them grow.
And a lot of growth in the Orioles nest these days.
Well, and you think about the teams that have won the last few years, and most recently the Angels. How many of those guys came through the Angels farm system? They lost together in the early years. They learned how to play for one another, and then they turned that into a World Series championship last year.
Yeah. Melvin Mora extended the hit streak to 18 in a row. Melvin did that his second turn at the plate tonight with his base hit to left. So Mora came into tonight at 359. Still right there. Melvin last time at the plate called out on a hitter's interference as he got entangled on a steal attempt by Luis Matos after Melvin swung and missed at a pitch. Chris Widger, we're told, who followed through and hit Melvin's helmet, has a right thumb bruise, probably a pretty good one, and X-rays negative. So that's good news for Chris Widger. Matos is going. Big jump. It got away from Matheny. Here comes Matos over to third base as Mora on that 2-2 pitch went after the breaking ball. So Mora is a strikeout victim, but Matos rolled all the way over to third. They'll give Luis a stolen base, and then he'll move to third base. And they call that a wild pitch or pass ball?
Wild pitch, I would think. It bounces in the dirt. Mora is out swinging because first base was occupied. Matos picks up on the fact the ball's back to the backstop and alertly moves into third base. Mike Matheny didn't have much of a chance to glove that. The ball was in the dirt. Mora was out because first base was occupied when the ball went past the catcher.
Birds have a chance to take the lead if Jeff Conine can pick up Luis Matos as the slider from Calero finds the outside corner. Jeff Conine again hit the ball sharply his last turn at the plate. Buck, that pitch is 6 to 8 inches off the outside corner. At least from that look.
When you have a slump going, it seems as though those pitches go against you too. And then you take the good ones.
And now it's 0-2.
That's just the way things have been going for Jeff Conine lately.
Yeah.
That game in Houston, he had a couple of line drives that were caught.
That was Tuesday night. Jeff wound up taking an 0 for 13 in Houston. Even he hit the ball 4 to 5 times hard, and now 0 for 3 tonight. And that'll miss down and in from Calero. But Conine, I know how Jeff's feeling right now. He said, give me a flare or a fist job to fall right here, and all is forgiven. 1-2 pitch. Tried to check that. Bruce Fleming said he did.
Conine had to have some real doubts about that because that's about the same spot the first pitch was called a strike. He certainly checked his swing. Matheny asked for the appeal. Bruce Fleming said nope, he didn't go.
Now the 2-2 from Calero to Conine. Make it 3-2 now, and another fine stop by Mike Matheny.
Boy, he puts on a clinic behind the plate. Every time he catches, absolute clinic. That ball was in the dirt, nasty breaking ball. He squares up on it and has no chance to go anywhere. Started out in Milwaukee, and watch the technique of the catcher behind the plate. Goes to both knees, drops those knees down, smothers the ball with his chest protector, and there it is right between his legs. No chance to advance whatsoever.
3-2 to Conine. That'll miss upstairs. And Kiko Calero issues the free pass to Jeff Conine, and let's see now with Jay Gibbons at the plate. No movement yet from Tony La Russa. For Steve Klein. Now here comes the skipper, and Tony La Russa didn't think that he was going to let Calero face Jay Gibbons, as he has Steve Klein ready to go. So La Russa's going to go to the bullpen with the Orioles threatening in this 5-5 tie here in the 7th. We'll get you right back to Busch Stadium. Real good one going on in the first night of this weekend series here in St. Louis. The Birds and the Cards tied at 5 apiece. All right, those fans, want you to listen very closely. Exclusively Orioles premium packages, the finest ticket plan you're going to find anywhere all over Major League Baseball. Here's what it is. Field box seats in the first few rows at Oriole Park, the best venue in baseball. Between the bases, around home plate, they're currently being packaged in 10-game plans with premium parking and other exclusive amenities like an opportunity to head to the Camden Club up in the warehouse and enjoy yourself during Orioles baseball. Call that number you see right there, 410-547-6284 for your exclusively Orioles premium package. It'll also will allow you to have the opportunity to go to baseball's All-Star game this summer and postseason play in October as well. Exclusively Orioles, a premium ticket plan. Make sure you check it out soon. So Steve Klein, the veteran left-hander, on to face Jay Gibbons, and Klein's got a lot of work this year. He's appeared in just about half the games that the Cardinals have played.
Klein actually worked as a closer for a while in picking up the slack for the loss of Jason Isringhausen. Klein with 3 saves, and the reason he's on in this situation is that he's held left-handed hitters to a 143 batting average. So Tony La Russa has gone to his bullpen with this matchup. Jay Gibbons at the plate, first and third for the Orioles with 2 outs in a 5-5 game.
Now Jay looking for his first base hit tonight. Gibbons at one time during the month of May, as he looks at the called strike from Klein, was over 300 against left-handed pitching. It's cooled a little bit. Jay right now at 255 against the Southpaws. But look at Gibbons with the clutch hitting in mind, with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, and he's in that situation right now in this 5-5 tie. Again, Matheny had to make sure he had all the exits closed there to keep that pitch in the dirt in front of him.
Well, I can't tell you how much confidence that gives a pitcher that he can really snap off a wicked breaking ball, knowing full well that Mike Matheny is going to stop it. You can really pitch with a lot of confidence.
1-1 to Gibbons. That's bounced slowly up the line. Matheny out of the chute. They'll throw out Gibbons. So we're going to all get up and stretch it out here. Mid-7th, Orioles threaten, don't score, tied at 5. Couple of big innings. St. Louis got 5 in the 4th. Birds got 4 in the 5th. Now in the 5-5 time. Let's go back to that 5th inning and find out how St. Louis got on the board. Chris Widger with this 2-run double in the bottom of the 4th.
Well, it was a RBI situation, and they had a runner at second and third base, and Widger got the ball up out of the plate and drove it over Luis Matos' head. That was a big inning, a 5-run 4th inning for the Cardinals, but the bullpen has done a good job. Rick Bauer had a good inning, and Travis Driscoll had an effective inning. Now working on his 3rd inning.
And he's facing Albert Pujols, the leading hitter in Major League Baseball, 2 for 2 tonight. Pujols was at the plate when Orlando Palmeiro got thrown out. But Albert Pujols, he's a hitting machine. He's 3 for 3 in the night. That's roped between Batista and Cruz. 3 base knocks tonight for Albert Pujols to go up near 390.
Well, he is upset, and you know why he's upset? Because Orlando Palmeiro got thrown out trying to advance on a short wild pitch. That's why he starts this inning off, and he was upset when it happened at the end of the inning, as he felt like he's got it going tonight.
Yeah.
He wanted the chance to hit with a runner on.
Well, Travis Driscoll now trying to work his way through a very difficult stretch of St. Louis hitting here in the 7th inning. Base hit for Pujols. Now it's Jim Edmonds with Scott Rowland, Edgar Renteria, and Tino Martinez, the next 3 behind Edmonds. Edmonds has been kept quiet tonight by Rick Helling. He faced Helling 3 times, and Helling got him to go 0 for 3. Fanned looking his last turn at the plate.
The best way to approach these hitters is to be aggressive. Go ahead and challenge them with a good pitch on the first pitch. Take the upper hand. Don't give them an opportunity to get the count in their favor where they can really keyhole you and get up Look for that one pitch. Tough part of the lineup, but I think you're better off being aggressive.
Make it 2-1 now. You see some of this interleague baseball rolling by on a Friday night. Well, the New York Mets finally cooled off those Seattle Mariners who swept Philly. Mets with a win in Shea tonight. Pittsburgh and Atlanta, National League game postponed, but well, how about Texas? They got drummed again.
7 in a row now for the Texas Rangers. 25 wins and 34 losses.
And when the Orioles were down in Texas 2 weeks ago, they were within a game of 500. Edmonds with a shot to the gap. Matos laying out, and he made the sparkling grab. Luis Matos, glove side, full extension, took extra bases away from Jim Edmonds. Buck, he got a great jump off the bat.
And you know, that ball had top spin, and it starts to die as Matos gets to it, and he's got to shove his glove right underneath it before he slams to the turf. Well, what a good play by Matos. That ball gets by him. It's 2 for sure, and the O's probably trail.
Here's Scott Rowland now. Terrific play by Matos. Racing to the gap as Rowland takes a look at Driscoll working the outside corner. Scott Rowland tonight's had a base hit in 2 turns. Rowland, you make it 3 turns, so 1 for 3 in the night. Rowland started and ended that St. Louis 5-run uprising in the 4th. Got a base hit at the beginning and then popped out to end it. Rowland having a very fine year.
Watch this last pitch to Scott Rowland. That's a pretty good pitch, but Hill was coming out of the blocks trying to think about a throw to first base. May have blocked Mike Winters, but think about that pitch compared to the pitch that was called on Konine.
Bounce foul by Jose Oquendo in that third base coaching box. There's going to be another in the long line of very fine third basemen that have played here in St. Louis down through the years. Buck, Kenny Boyer. Joe Torre played some third base here in St. Louis when he was winning the National League hitting crown. And of course Mike Shannon. Shannon, who does the radio broadcast now, is play-by-play announcer for the Cards.
Well, they've had some great players over the years, and you know, that's just a classic uniform. There's Mike Shannon, who now does the radio. He was teamed up for years with the late Jack Buck, and passed away a year ago.
Now Mike Winters said, nope, I'm going to jump out from behind the plate, and this is not going to be a pitch. Rowland was asking for time. And Winters should have said 9:41. Maybe he did.
You think he's that quick?
I don't know. Driscoll missing downstairs now. Heel can't find it as you see Geronimo dancing around a little bit.
And Geronimo very belatedly asked for an appeal at first base because it looked like Rowland might have gone too far on that pitch. Geronimo was blocking the ball and lost it at his feet.
Double barrel, huh? Going in that Orioles pen. B.J. Ryan closest to you, the left-hander, and that's Terry Lightenberg. Lightenberg knows all about pitching here in Busch Stadium. Long-time Atlanta Brave. Big pitch to Rowland. 2-2 pitch. Got him swinging. Travis Driscoll fanning Scott Rowland. Looked like more of the slider than the splitter, Buck. We'll take a look at the pitch sequence and check it out.
Well, we talk about getting ahead of this part of the lineup, and that's what Driscoll did. First pitch strike. That ball just off the plate outside. Fouled him off on a good sinker inside. There's the splitter in the dirt that set up that last pitch. And I think you're right, Mike. I think it was a breaking ball that Rowland struck out on. Boy, that was a big out.
Yeah. No question after that leadoff base hit from Pujols, who's still at first base. So Travis Driscoll got the wonderful help from Luis Matos, who robbed Jim Edmonds in right center field with a diving grab, and now Driscoll fanning Scott Rowland. Tough customer here in Renteria.
Good split there. That split finger pitch, right as it got to the hitting zone, just bottoms out. Renteria out in front of it, 83 miles an hour. And it looks like a fastball. You think it's a fastball, you swing at it, and it's gone.
Those good splits. The bottom drops right out of them. Driscoll ahead of Renteria. 0-2 pitch. Ripped up the middle. Off the glove of Driscoll. Cruz with the pick, and he'll throw out Renteria. Oh, what a wonderful play by Davy Cruz. Give Travis Driscoll an assist, or that ball's in center field.
Davy Cruz with great range, off balance throw on the money in time to get Renteria. Still tied.
A couple of real fine defensive plays for the Birds in the bottom of the seventh, keeping this one all even at 5 apiece. Hey, O's fans, are you looking for a real baseball deal? Then head to Oriole Park on Tuesday, June 17th. SK Dollar Dog Night. On the 17th, fans could purchase delicious SK Franks for only $1 a piece. Can't beat that. It's also a Coca-Cola bargain night, meaning upper reserve seats are only $8. For your tickets to $1 SK Hot Dog Night, call that number you see on your screen or go online, theorioles.com. 5-5 tie as we head to inning number 8, and that is a familiar figure to you Oriole fans. On the mound, Esteban Yan, the former Bird, now a bird of a different feather here in St. Louis.
Well, he went from being an orange bird to a red bird. Now, Esteban Yan started out the season with Texas. He was traded here to St. Louis on the 27th of May. And he has been the closer for Tampa Bay, and you expected that he was going to have an impact on that Texas Ranger staff. Didn't throw well there. Now the Cardinals are giving him another opportunity. Spent 2 years in Baltimore, 96 and 97.
Tony Batista to lead things off, and Batista look at the called strike. Tony has had a nice night at the plate. Batista base hit to start the 4-run 5th inning for the O's, and then tripled to begin the rally that tied it up for the Birds in the top of the 6th, and Jan's ahead of Tony Batista, 0-2. Well, the Orioles have been used to so many close ones this year. As the Birds try to get back to the 500 mark, Batista with a drive to right. Palmeiro, or rather Robertson, is there to put it away as he came to a skidding stop in that right field corner. Robinson got a good jump and took down the fly ball off the bat of Batista. Davy Cruz has been strong with a bat tonight for the Birds and with a glove.
Well, he drove a ball to the wall in center field to chase home Tony Batista. Then in the 6th inning, right off the glove of Scott Rowland, his second RBI double, pair of doubles, 2 runs driven in. Now he's up to 24 RBIs for the season.
Well, Davy with that average back up over the 240 mark. Again, I keep mentioning it, but I think it bears repeating. On the 8th of May, Davy Cruz was down to 167. Well, that's a lot of distance, and he's just driven the gap in deep right center. Edmonds not going to get there. One hop up against the wall. Stand-up 2-base hit for Davy Cruz, his 3rd double of the night. Cruz is putting some real scorch onto the baseball out of that number 7 hole in the O's lineup.
Boy, is he driving the ball. Remember, we talked about his big year in Detroit a couple of years ago, and this ball to the right side of Jim Edmonds this time. Edmonds has played balls off the wall from Davy Cruz twice now tonight. 3 doubles in the night for Davy Cruz, and he is red hot.
Cruz at scoring position now with the go-ahead run here in the 8th for Geronimo Gil. Gil with a shot to right, base hit. Robinson will pick it on a hop. Here comes Cruz to the plate. Orioles take the lead. 6-5 on the Geronimo Gil opposite field base hit off Esteban Yan, and the Birds have come all the way back from 5-0 down tonight in St. Louis.
We said a good formula for the Orioles tonight was to get into that Cardinal bullpen, and it certainly has been the right prescription. Boy, Geronimo Hill has had a good approach at the plate. This is a fastball away, and he rips it right over the second baseman's head into right field. His second RBI of the night, and he's given the Orioles the lead. Here comes Davy Cruz, who has been on base 3 times tonight. He has scored 2 runs, driven in 2, and hit 3 doubles.
B.J. Surhoff now to pinch hit for Travis Driscoll against Esteban Yan. Ground ball to the hole. Base hit right field. Heel's going to take that turn as Robertson's throw back to Renteria, the cutoff man. B.J. Surhoff wasting no time. B.J. first pitch swinging, and the Birds continue their 8th inning threat against Esteban Yan as they've climbed on Yan rather quickly.
Now B.J. jumps on the first pitch he sees from Yan, and it's past the diving Cairo. Hill looking up to third base, and he sees the stop sign and throws on the brakes. Remember, Surhoff was on deck in the 5th inning to pinch hit. Hargrove saved him for a more opportune time, and it's paid off here in the 8th.
Here's Brian Roberts now. Well, the Birds would love to tack on a few more here and up this lead to make the job a little bit easier on the Orioles bullpen. Brian Roberts has doubled, driven in a run, scored a run tonight. He's 1 for 4. Once again, this O's offense, it's averaged close to 7 runs and 12 base hits over the past 2 weeks per game. Doing just about that again tonight. Brian Roberts at 15th RBI of the year tonight, and you talk about those out of the leadoff spot, Buck, that produce runs.
Boy, a name that is missing from that list, and that's Soriano, but of course he's been dropped down in the order since that time because of the loss of Bernie Williams. Only today was Soriano put back into the leadoff spot. So you think Alfonso Soriano when you think a leadoff guy, but he's not been hitting there. There's Jeff Passero, the veteran left-hander. He's loosening up down in that bullpen. And this has been a real problem area for Tony La Russa's Cardinals, the bullpen.
Showed up again tonight, hasn't it? As the Orioles have taken advantage. Brian Roberts, that bottom hand flying off the bat there as that count evens at 2-2.
That's that split finger pitch. You can see how he is out in front, so much so that he loses the grip on the bat. 12 hits again tonight for Baltimore. Another double-digit night for the hitters.
Just keep on coming. That's 14 of the last 16. Ripped down a hop to Cairo. Renteria, there's one. Double play. Roberts hit a shot. One hop to Miguel Cairo. Turned to 4-6-3 double play. But the Birds have taken a 6-5 lead. Baltimore Orioles baseball on the Orioles Television Network has been brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. More than 2,700 nonstop daily flights to 59 destinations all across the country. And by Nextel. Stay in touch, not on hold. Also by Heineken. It's all about the beer. Heineken. And by Allstate. You're in good hands with Allstate. By the number, Orioles spot St. Louis a 5-run advantage, then get 4 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, and a big one in the 8th on Geronimo Hill's opposite field base hit. 6-5 Birds up to the bullpen now, and Buck Martinez. It starts with B.J. Ryan making his 28th appearance of the year.
Well, B.J. Ryan has had a couple of adventures lately out of that bullpen, but certainly given this opportunity, he'd love to be able to throw up a 0 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Get it into the hands of Jorge Julio. One thing about this style of baseball, everybody gets a chance to contribute night after night practically. You use the bullpen a lot. A lot of guys off the bench come to the plate as pinch hitters, and there's a good first pitch from B.J. Ryan.
This is Tino Martinez to lead things off here for the Redbirds in the bottom of the 8th. Tino's had a base hit tonight. B.J. Ryan will missed down and away to Tino Martinez.
Well, how about Rick Bauer, Travis Driscoll? 3 innings of 2-hit relief. Bauer with a perfect 1-2-3 inning in the 6th.
Martinez got a base hit center field. That's one thing Tino will do. Will hang in against left-handed pitching. Took that 1-1 pitch on a line for the leadoff base hit. Tying run aboard for St. Louis here in the bottom of the 8th.
Take a look at how Tino stays on that pitch. That's a pretty good pitch from B.J. Ryan, and Martinez has spoiled a lot of good pitches over the years.
Well, that'll get Mike Matheny to the plate. Wondering about maybe a move from Tony La Russa here to pinch run Martinez, but the answer is no from Counselor La Russa. With Mike Matheny at the plate. What do you think, Buck? Eduardo Perez in the on-deck circle. That's the pitcher spot after Mike Matheny. La Russa going to sacrifice that tying run in the scoring position?
I think so. I think that's what they're going to ask him to do right here.
Yeah, Matheny going to square, and that pitch will miss down and in. Matheny looking to put the bunt down. Batista and Conine charging from their respective corners.
Bruce Fleming, I believe, on the appeal called it a strike. It looked like it was inside.
Okay,
and then they went down to Fleming, and it was a very odd strike call. He just stuck his right arm straight out. But it looked like a decent pitch to begin with.
All right, did Matheny offer here?
Well, he ended up with a strike somehow.
Spanky Fleming. A long time umpire. Well, B.J. Ryan with this job to do. Orioles bullpen with a job to do now. It might take a few members here through the 8th and 9th inning to try to protect this 1-run advantage. Matheny will square. That's a called strike, and it's 0-2. Started his major league career with the Milwaukee Brewers, and now he's going to take a walk down and talk with Jose Oquendo, the third base coach.
Special instructions delivered verbally. Oquendo got his orders from La Russa, and he passed them along to Matheny personally. Might be asking him to bunt again.
Yep. In the air. Jeff Conine to put it away. And Matheny not able to get that 0-2 pitch on the ground. Not able to sacrifice Tino Martinez. Now Tony La Russa is going to insert the pinch hitter. And that's going to prompt a visit to the mound from Mike Hargrove. Eduardo Perez has been announced, and the skipper on his way out. The Orioles had Kerry Lightenberg up and working in the bullpen. He was with B.J. Ryan anyway during inning number 7.
I think he had Julio throwing at the start of this inning. And let's see who it's going to be. But B.J. Ryan's finished, and Hargrove has gone to his bullpen. Let's see who pops out. We got one out here in the 8th inning. Orioles trying to hold on to this 1-run lead.
Next they'll call to the bullpen. It's going to be the closer, Jorge Julio, to try to get 5 outs here and preserve a 6-5 Orioles lead. We'll be right back to Busch Stadium. A lot of drama going on here in the bottom of the 8th. Wheels are turning out of both dugouts. Orioles trying to hold this 6-5 lead. Let's take a look at our Corona Extra relaxed ahead of the night. And so that's passionate Cardinals fan talking the game over. There's an Orioles fan there beside him. And I like the headgear, Buck. Good
You got
luck.
to be a baseball fan there. Yeah.
Good luck.
He is relaxed to wear that to the ballpark. Jorge Julio on has to get 5 outs here. And he'll make his 26th appearance, looking for save number 15.
Well, Mike Hargrove now going to the bullpen and getting his 4th reliever of the night. So now there is the pinch runner we were talking about, So Taguchi. He is going to pinch run here in the bottom of the 8th, and Taguchi, who has spent all of his professional career with Oryx in Japan, I believe. The Oryx ball club over there.
Right. He was one of the last guys cut in spring, and he was actually here at opening day, and then they kept Perez, sent Robinson and Taguchi back.
Now this is Eduardo Perez, a solid bat off Tony La Russa's bench. And Perez hitting at over a 300 clip on the year, and got some pop too, Buck. No question about that.
Well, Eduardo Perez has done a pretty good job coming off the bench, hitting .316 with 3 homers. 4 for 14 as a pinch hitter.
And facing Jorge Julio on the 0-1 pitch.
Tell you what, Geronimo Hills had a good night behind the plate. I remember back in the 6th inning, a little short wild pitch in the dirt. Orlando Palmero at the plate, or at first base, and Hill threw him out at second to end the inning.
Julio went to the slider, and it just missed. Geronimo Hill tried to frame that for Jorge Julio, facing Eduardo Perez, of course the son of the big doggy, Tony Perez from the Cincinnati Reds days. Fly ball fairly deep center, but Matos is there, and he'll put it away. So Perez is out. As you see Taguchi, who was moving on the pitch, going back to the bag now with 2 down here in the 8th. Get the leadoff hitter Miguel Cairo to the plate, as Julio gets the pinch hitter Eduardo Perez, the first hitter he faces out of Mike Hargrove's bullpen. Miguel Cairo without a base hit tonight. He has been hit by a pitch and scored one of the St. Louis 5 that they put on the board in the 4th. Well, that's the only inning, Buck, that the Cardinals have done any damage against Oriole pitching tonight.
They got to Rick Helling, and after that the bullpen has done a good job.
Did that get Cairo? Well, Mike Winter said it did. He sent him to first base. Second time tonight. Miguel Cairo's been hit by pitch, and Mike Hargrove said, wait a minute, going to come out and join Geronimo Hill in the discussion.
Geronimo turned around immediately and must have heard the bat, and Hargrove has really had a little bit more of Mike Winters tonight than he wants. He has been out there a few times. Remember, Melvin Moore was called out for interference at home plate, and then Rick Helling was called for a balk, and now Winters rules that Cairo was hit by that pitch. Now this is huge because Cairo is in the #1 spot. Take a look at this. Fastball running in. Boy, that hit above his hand. It sure did look like it hit above his hand, but Cairo did a heck of a job of selling it. And look how quickly he turns around at the umpire. Watch where that ball hits on the bat. Way up high on the bat. Watch how quickly he turns around, shakes his hand, and then looks back at the umpire as if to say, I got hit, I got hit. Oh, what a job by Miguel Cairo selling that to Mike Winters, and the umpire bought it. It's huge because now the batter at the plate is the pitcher's spot. Take a look at this. Watch where the ball is on the bat. It's above his top hand. And certainly Hill was right on it. He heard the bat cleanly and said, that's a foul ball. But Miguel Cairo talked the umpire into it. Boy, what a veteran move, reacting immediately.
Really was. So the Orioles are going to lose that argument, and what it does now, it gets pinch hitter J.D. Drew to the plate.
That's why it's so big with 2 outs.
With now the tying run in scoring position as Jorge Julio will miss. J.D. Drew, there you see the numbers, the former #1 pick. Drew out of Florida State that decided not to sign with the Philadelphia Phillies. Played in independent leagues and then cast his lot here with St. Louis.
As a pinch hitter, there are the numbers. 5 for 10, a homer, and 3 RBIs. Boy, what a play by Cairo to keep the inning alive, to get on base and get Drew to the plate.
So Taguchi at second base, Miguel Cairo at first base, and Jorge Julio has fallen behind J.D. Deuce 3-0, and you know who's on deck. Albert Pujols, none other than the Major League's leading hitter.
Mr. Perfect tonight. 3 for 3 with a walk.
The 3-0 that misses. It'll load him up for the people's choice here in St. Louis. Albert Pujols. And you can hear the crescendo of noise starting to build in Busch Stadium with the .388 hitter, the best in baseball. Pujols is 3 for 3 tonight at the plate. Mark Wiley wants to really make sure that Jorge Julio has got Pujols squared away.
You see the numbers. NL home run leaders, Dunn, Lowell, Sexton, and there's Pujols with 16, tied with Gary Sheffield. And tonight, all he's done is single 3 times and walk. No place to put him.
There certainly is not. The Power Bar, Energy Bite, home run leaders. This is about as tense a moment as you're going to find as this Friday night crowd all clad in their Cardinal red on their feet. Bases loaded with 2 down, bottom of the 8th. Albert Pujols facing Jorge Julio with the Birds up by a run, and Julio brought out the slider to Pujols, who went right over the top of it.
He's got great numbers in every situation, and what a good pitch to start the at-bat from Julio. Good slider.
The young Oriole closer working out of the stretch with the bases loaded. That's line to left. That's going to get down. Base hit. Cardinals will take the lead. Taguchi to the plate. Cairo right behind him. Drew to the plate. The throw for Cruz not in time. Albert Pujols has done it again. Bases clearing. 3-run double from Albert Pujols that emptied the bags to put St. Louis on top by a couple.
And let me tell you something, that was a pretty good pitch. A fastball inside. He was able to keep his hands inside the ball and takes it down into the corner. 2 outs, everybody's running on contact, and they clear the bases with Pujols. There's Cairo, who kept the inning alive, and Albert Pujols has done some damage here tonight.
An amazing hitter. 4 for 4 in the night. He's now driven in 4 runs, take over club leadership with 49. You're right, Buck. That wasn't that bad a pitch.
Nope.
He got the barrel of the bat to it and ripped it to the corner and left to clear the bases. So now Jorge Julio got to get Jim Edmonds, and the Orioles are going to need a top of the 9th inning rally of their own. And you can see the frustration in the face of manager Mike Hargrove as Edmonds looks at a called strike. Down 5-0. The Orioles get 6 unanswered runs to take the lead, only to see Albert Pujols do damage again.
Well, as a manager, you do everything you think Right. You get B.J. Ryan in the game, and Tino Martinez singles off of him, but then you get the pop-up. Now you go to your closer for 5 outs, and you can't get the job done.
Jim Edmonds is gone, so are the Cardinals as Julio fans him. But Albert Pujols on a 4-for-4 night just emptied the bases on a 3-run double to give the Cardinals the lead. Let's see what the O's have in the top of the ninth. 8-6 St. Louis. A couple of big innings for the St. Louis Cardinals. 5 in the 4th, and then down by a run. Got 3 on the Albert Pujols bases clearing double. And the Cardinals now have an 8-6 lead as we head to the 9th. Got some defensive moves here as So Taguchi stays in the game. He pinch ran for Tino Martinez, so he's going to play left field. Taguchi in left. Over in right field, Eduardo Perez, who pinch hit during the bottom of the 8th. So Perez is in right field. And Luis Pujols, or Albert Pujols, excuse me, has moved to first base from left field. He takes over for Tino Martinez, and there's the story of the game tonight. Albert Pujols with his tremendous evening at the plate. And we'll see if the Orioles have something to say against this heavily traveled veteran right-hander, now the closer of this ball club. Without Jason Isringhausen available, this is Cal Eldred, who's in the strike zone. Luis Matos here to open up the ninth.
Well, an unlikely closer to be sure, but Eldred, in La Russa's mind, is the best suited. He throws strikes, he's got confidence, he's experienced, and he has been able to do a pretty good job filling in for Isringhausen. He is 5 for 7 in save opportunities.
Well, for the Birds, the O's looking to rack up a come-from-behind win. Now down by a couple on the outside corner, and Luis Matos is caught looking. Luis with another multi-hit night. Took one too many as Cal Eldred fans him to open up the ninth.
Now they go with the fastball on the outside corner. Mike Matheny holds it very still so Mike Winters can have a look at it. Look at Matheny just holding his glove perfectly still and gives the umpire a long look at that fastball away.
There's Melvin Mora. Melvin taking a called strike. He's had a base hit tonight, so Melvin has run the hit streak to 18 games and still going strong. Second leading hitter in the American League coming into this evening as Eldred will bounce his breaking ball.
Michael, I'm sure Mike Hargrove is a bit frustrated. You shouldn't score 6 runs a night and be down by 2. And his club has really been swinging the bats, and they continue to do it tonight. And even after they fell behind 5-0, his hitters just kept plugging away, and they had a 4-run 5th inning. Stayed in the ball game. Davy Cruz had a big night, and you score 6 runs a night, you should win.
Yeah, and Mike Hargrove was telling us that during the stay in Houston as Eldred out to even the count on Melvin Mora at 2-2. The first couple of nights in Houston. Forget last night. Last night was one of those file 'em and forget 'em nights. But first couple of games in Houston, imminently winnable for the Birds. 3-2 now on Mora.
Well, you know, and I don't know exactly what Hargrove's thinking down in the dugout, but when he went to Julio thinking, you know what, if I can save this game, we got Sidney Ponson pitching tomorrow. And certainly we'll do whatever we can to get this game under our belt. You had a lead in the 8th, trying to close it out with 5 outs from your closer.
Melvin Mora caught looking as Eldred was able to find the strike zone as Mora is caught looking here for out number 2.
Now, Cal Eldred has really been on a roll recently. This is his second strikeout of the night, sinking fastball. Mora felt it was low.
Well, with this Redbird Nation on their feet, that's going to leave it up to Jeff Conine. Jeff 0 for 3, looking for his first base hit on the road trip. Conine 0 for his last 16 after delivering that game-winning RBI Sunday to beat Texas. 2-0 on Conine. The Birds would love to get Jeff Conine aboard here and get the tying run to the plate with Jay Gibbons and give Gibbons a shot against the right-hander Eldred. Jeff Facero is no longer warming. Called strike to Conine.
Well, he's like a strike machine, really pounding that strike zone. Now, this is his 18th appearance. Eldred has had strikeouts in 15 of those 18 appearances.
2-1 to Conine. Count evens at 2-2. The Orioles trying to find a way after giving up the 6-5 lead in the bottom of the 8th. Conine with a drive to left. Gucci is there to put it away, and this one's over. Disheartening loss for Mike Hargrove and the Birds. Battled back from a 5-0 deficit to take a 6-5 lead, only to see Albert Pujols, Major League's leading hitter, clear the bases with a 3-run double in the bottom of the 8th off Jorge Julio to win it for St. Louis. 8-6 the final, as the Orioles have lost 4 in a row on the interleague trek through Houston and St. Louis. Buck and I will come back and tell you more. That's next on the Orioles Television Network. Back inside Busch Stadium in downtown St. Louis, where the Orioles had to feel the sting of this one tonight, as the Birds really battled back to take a 6-5 lead, but fall to the St. Louis Cardinals, the final at 8-6. Michael Regai with Buck Martinez. So the Orioles have now dropped 4 in a row in interleague play in National League ballparks. Albert Pujols, the story tonight, 4 for 4 in the 8th inning, cleared the bases with his 2-base hit.
And a pretty good pitch from Jorge Julio, an inside fastball on a 0-1 pitch, and J.D. Drew was at first base, a 3-run bases clearing double down into the corner, and Albert Pujols put on a hitting clinic tonight. He was really a marvelous hitter. He loves to come up with guys in scoring position. He loves the challenge of coming through for his team. He's one of the best hitters in the game right now, and tonight he showed it to the Orioles right here in person.
Birds had a hard time in trying to find a way to get Pujols out. They'll have to talk about that and see if it can work tomorrow. Good job, partner. We'll look for better things on a Saturday afternoon after the St. Louis 8-6 win over the Orioles. Don't go away. We'll come back and say goodnight to you on the Orioles Television Network. 8-6 the final. The St. Louis Cardinals beat the Orioles in come-from-behind fashion in the bottom of the 8th inning with Albert Pujols playing villain to the O's with that 3-run bases-clearing double. So the Orioles now fall to 28-31 in the year, and the Birds have now dropped 4 in a row following the loss here in the opener of interleague baseball in this weekend series in St. Louis. Sidney Ponson to the mound tomorrow, so the Orioles are going to look for better things as they'll get Ponson, their 7-game winner, to the hill tomorrow with Jason Johnson going on Sunday, as the O's will look to quiet the bats of Edgar Renteria, Albert Pujols, and the St. Louis Cardinals. Next time we get together with you, don't forget tomorrow now on Fox 45 at 4 o'clock in Baltimore as the Birds battle the St. Louis Cardinals in Game 2 of this series. This has been an exclusive presentation of the Orioles Television Network. For producer Chip Winfield, director Bob Whitelaw, all of our talented crew, from my partner Buck Martinez, I'm Michael Regai. St. Louis beats the O's. Have a good Friday night, everybody.